Welcome to ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by Ram Trucks. Just a gorgeous Friday night in New England as we turn to November in Week 10 of the college football season, where tonight we're in the ACC to watch the struggling Boston College Eagles welcome the Duke Blue Devils to Chestnut Hill. Duke trying to become bowl eligible. They can do that with a win here tonight. Hi again, everybody. Welcome to Boston. Alongside Rocky Boyman, I'm Clay Mathick. Don Davenport will join us shortly. So Mike Elko is hired at Duke to try and get things back on track, and so far so good here in year one.
Absolutely. I mean, this is a program that the past two seasons had 5 combined wins. So Mike Elko comes in. He's really rejuvenated this program. He fixed the players' bodies in the weight room, and he really just replugged them into Duke football and being positive and excited about Duke football and the culture being here like the way it is. But another guy who gets a lot of credit for Duke's success is their trigger man, Riley Leonard, the sophomore quarterback, who has been just absolutely exceptional this year. He's a dual threat kid, and not only does he lead the passing game, but he's also the team's top rusher. Really gets it done with his legs, an electrifying athlete. So Boston College tonight, you got to worry about his pass. He's a 64% completion guy, but down especially inside that 10-yard line, really likes to run that thing.
This is going to be fun to watch here tonight. So Duke's got a new football coach, new basketball coach at Duke as well in Jon Scheyer. And Don, maybe he needs to look at Riley Leonard.
Yeah, I don't think Coach Mike Elko would appreciate that comment, Clay, but Riley Leonard was a star basketball player in high school. A lot of D1 interest in him, and he told me after his junior year he thought he would pursue that path. I want to show you why. Take a look at his high school hoops reel. Oh my goodness, knocking down shots, dunking over people left and right. It was all hoops until Duke football came a-calling, and he told me you just don't turn down an opportunity at this university. You guys see his athleticism on the hardwood. You'll see that translate to the field tonight. He said his 15-year basketball background is why he's so explosive. It's why he's the QB he is today. And guys, he really feels his confidence and his comfort in the pocket has grown in the last month.
Yeah, he's going to be fun to watch here tonight. Thanks, Don. All right, let's turn to Boston College. This is year 3 under head coach Jeff Hafley, and things kind of hit rock bottom last week with a loss at UConn, and now they've lost their starting quarterback in Phil Jurkovec.
Right, now it's going to be Emmett Moorhead. He's a good-looking player, right? 6'6", 230. Cannon for an arm. He really looks the part, but he lacks experience, right? He hasn't started a football game since his junior year of high school, so the key for Emmett Moorhead is to make things simple on him, get him some confidence early. Also, Emmett, look for number 4, right? Look for number 4 on your offense, Zay Flowers, the most explosive wide receiver in the ACC, a guy who's just getting the ball in a multiple amounts of ways, 23 career touchdowns. I compare him to an Antonio Brown, a Tyreek Hill, and just you get the ball in his hands, he's going to make someone miss, he's going to do something explosive out there. So somehow, some way, find number 4.
So we're all set tonight. Jeff Hafley saying his team was embarrassed last week. Said we need to play better, we need to coach better. We'll see if that happens here tonight against Duke. Kickoff coming up next. You're watching the ACC on ESPN. What a beautiful day in Boston. Temps in the mid-70s. Can't believe it's the first week of November. All right, let's take a look at tonight's keys to the game brought to us by Jared.
Yeah, and for Duke, it's real simple here. You got to handle Boston College's early energy. They were embarrassed last week against UConn, and now Boston College back here at home. They're going to come out with a lot of energy. They got to extinguish that early energy. Then for Boston College, we talked about it. Get your quarterback, Emmett Moorhead, comfortable early. Get him 2, 3, 4 nice, easy throws. Get him in the flow of this game.
Boston College won the toss. They've deferred, so Duke will get it first. There's Emmett Moorhead waiting for his turn in his first career start. Liam Connor kicks it deep. Jalen Stinson on the return for Duke. Looking for real estate here on the right side. And he's going to be dropped short of the 20 as 2 flags come in. Our referee tonight, Gary Patterson.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Number 25, return team. 10-yard penalty to spotting foul. First down.
Another thing that Duke's done a really good job on this year is cutting down on penalties, but they get one right out of the gate. So Riley Leonard, as we talked about, extremely athletic. This is his first year as the man, and no doubt a true dual threat.
He really is. I mean, and he's kind of just maybe not look like the most explosive athlete, but as soon as he puts his foot in the ground and goes, he leaves defenders in the dust. Really like to see Duke's offense to just get in rhythm here early. Nothing risky, just start this offense flowing early in this game.
They'll start from the 10-yard line. First play of the game, and it's a pass complete to Jalen Calhoun. One of the veteran receivers, he's going to pick up 7 on first down as Vinny DePalma, the weak side linebacker and the #1 tackler for Boston College, comes in and makes the stop.
Yeah, this Duke offense has some great receivers, really led by their running back room. 4 or 5 guys make up that running back room. They really get it done on the ground.
And another flag. This could be a false start.
5-yard penalty, still second down.
And this is kind of what I was talking about. Boston College is going to come out on fire early here. Duke just, can't get in a hole, and you guys start off, you get 2 penalties to start this game. Don't give them hope.
So instead of 2nd and 2, it's 2nd and 7, and you can see Mike Elko's reaction. Boston College knows they've got to contain Leonard. Leonard will hand it off. Here's Jordan Waters with his first touch and a burst for a first down out near the 25-yard line. Jordan Waters, he's their #1 running back, but it's kind of been running back by committee for Duke this year.
By committee, certainly. Inside zone. Running back's going to get the ball, keep his shoulders square to the line, always getting positive yardage, and you mentioned it. Waters, Jaquez Moore, Jalen Coleman, Terry Moore, they just rotated about 4 guys, keep them fresh.
Duke with its first down, opening series. I'll give it to Waters again, finds some wiggle room. And another good run on first down, pushing the pile, and he's going to pick up 9. And it's a great rushing offense. It's a veteran O-line. They've been using those big guys up front to become the #2 rushing offense in the ACC. 205 yards per game on the ground.
Yeah, this is combined. They got over 100 starts between those guys. Lots of seniors, lots of graduate seniors. They've played a lot of football together, and it shows.
2nd down and 1. Waters in the backfield. Here's Leonard. He's going to throw it out to Waters. Pretty good receiver, too. And he's going to pick up the first down at the 40-yard line. Jaden Woodby, transfer from Florida State, brings him down, but Duke moves the chains again.
They really look in rhythm here. Start off with a couple great runs, and then that sets up the play action. And Riley Leonard just looks really good in this offense. Had a good time watching him this week. He's decisive, especially for a young guy. He knows where to go with the ball, and he lets it rip.
Sophomore out of Fairhope, Alabama. Empties the backfield on first down. Dancing in the pocket all kinds of time. Rips it downfield, overshoots his receiver, Calhoun. Riley Leonard, a 64% completion rate, 3rd best in the ACC, but he's off the mark that time.
And they're without one of their better wide receivers. Eli Pankel is going to miss this game. So it's Calhoun, a lot of Jordan Moore. We'll be calling his name a lot as well.
The new offensive coordinator is Kevin Johns. He's really brought life back to this offense. 34 points per game. Last year, Duke was last in the ACC at under 23 points per game. So he has inspired this group. Deep handoff. Nope. It's going to be Leonard on the keeper. This is what he does. Riley Leonard. So deceptive in the backfield, he's going to take it to the house. He fooled everybody. Leonard. Touchdown, Duke. 60 yards for the quarterback.
And that's a drive and a run that will just suck the life out of Boston College to start this game. You mentioned the deception. Really rides that play down in there and then follows him and then just finds a little bit of a crease. And again, just a sneaky good athlete. Look, he's leaving defensive backs in the dust on the way to the end zone.
Well, this is exactly what Boston College wanted to avoid. This is what they did against UConn last week. Didn't get out to a great start defensively. Gave up a quick touchdown drive to the Huskies. And like last week, they're down 7-0 as Todd Polino comes on for the extra point. What a start for Duke on the road.
Yeah, Duke did exactly what they have to in a game like this. Come out, take any hope early, and it's done on the ground with the run. Riley Leonard showing the world what kind of player he is.
How about Riley Leonard, his 9th rushing touchdown of the year? He had 3 rushing touchdowns at Miami a couple of weeks ago, all design quarterback runs. That was a design quarterback run, goes 60 yards to the house. And Duke outscoring opponents 80-27 in the first quarter. Again, something that Mike Elko has brought to this team. They are fast starters this year.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they jump on teams early. And again, so important to do that against this Boston College team that's reeling coming off of last week. Shut the door on them early. Now it's up to the defense. See if they can get a quick 3 and out here.
Jalen Gill stacked up short of the 20-yard line. All right, so Emmett Moorhead making his first collegiate start, his first start as a quarterback since his junior year in high school. Big redshirt freshman out of Woodside, California, and no doubt he's got arm talent. Now, can this offensive line protect him tonight? Will he be comfortable?
Well, that's the thing, and we'll get into the offensive line, which has just been an infirmary this year. I've never seen anything like it. Not good for a quarterback making his first start, but again, I think that you get him involved early, make it easy on him.
Now we're going to go with a run. And first down is Pat Garwo. He's brought down by Darius Joyner.
And it's just crazy to mention that this is the 131st ranked rushing offense in the country. You don't think of that when you think of Boston College.
Now just 68 rushing yards per game. And a lot of it has to do with so many of the injuries up front. First pass of the night for Moorhead, and that's going to be a miss as he tried to get it to George Takis, the tight end, the grad transfer from Notre Dame, who's been out the last couple of games with an ankle injury. It's good that he is back, but Moorhead couldn't connect.
Yeah, it's huge they get Takis, and you see a little tempo.
3rd down and 8. Moorhead lofting it up, and that's incomplete. And that's a quick 3 and out. And that did not look comfortable. He was trying to get that to Joe Griffin down the sideline. Brandon Johnson had the pressure.
I don't like that last play call there at all. Try to throw a deep 9 ball down the sideline. I think you go for a safer option, something over the middle. You spread that defense out, try to find a hole in the zone and get your quarterback a nice, easy throw to get involved in the game. Instead, you ask him to sail one down the sideline. I don't like that call.
Sam Candati, the true freshman punter out of Australia, on to kick it away as Duke is ready to get some pretty decent field position, we would think. Jalen Calhoun standing at the 35. It's going to bounce and take a nice BC roll inside the 35-yard line. They'll mark it at the 33. That's a 43-yard kick for Candati as Leonard comes back out for the Blue Devils, and he engineered a nice scoring drive on the first series.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, a lot of balance to it. Started off with some runs. Got Jordan Waters, their best running back, involved. Found a lot of room off to that left side. Some short, quick passes. In this Boston College defense that likes to attack, really was just on its heels. And then, boom, a rush lane opens up. And Riley Leonard just shows the speed and the athleticism that Don was talking about at the beginning of the broadcast.
Waters hitting the backfield. He's going to be pushed down, no gain for Waters. Riley Leonard, in that heartbreaking loss to North Carolina, he ran for 130 yards, and he had a 74-yard touchdown run in that game. So it's amazing what he is able to do with his feet.
And it's the designed runs, but it's also when the play breaks down, right? When it's covered up, play breaks down. He is so good at finding a rush lane, usually up the middle. Boston College has got to shut that down.
They send Waters out into the flat. Leonard protected in the pocket, but he's incomplete. Threw it over the middle and tried to get it to Hagans or maybe Dalmolin. There are 2 receivers within a couple of yards of each other.
Yeah, it looked like it was supposed to go to Dalmolin, the tight end there, just a little bit off to his left.
So now 3rd down, and Duke about 39% on the year. That's middle of the pack in the ACC.
See if Boston College elects to bring some pressure here. Jeff
Hafley, he was the defensive play caller at Ohio State in 2019, but Tem Lukabu is the defensive coordinator. Brings some pressure and got enough bodies in front of Leonard where that pass was a little off the mark intended for Calhoun. And now Duke will be forced to punt.
I like that call by Tem Lukabu, the defensive coordinator. Brought 6, and he filled up every rush lane and every open lane for Riley Leonard to find a wide receiver. Just everything was shut down. It was like a wall was built in front of him, and it forced a bad throw.
And another false start penalty on Duke.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Third penalty against the Blue Devils tonight already. So Porter Wilson on to punt. Jalen Gill to receive for the Eagles. Wilson, a third-year punter for Duke. Calling for the fair catch. This is going to sail out of bounds. Just shy of the 30-yard line. So BC's down 7 at home. They got it back with their rookie quarterback next. Beautiful night in historic Boston. Alongside Rocky Boyman, I'm Clay Matvick. Don Davenport down on the field. Phil Jurkovec, starting quarterback for Boston College. Not available tonight. He's out with a knee injury. So Emmett Moorhead making his first career start for BC. And after that 3 and out, I think it's safe to say he looks a little uneasy.
A little nervous.
His debut.
Yeah, I'd like to see a little more killer instinct out of Emmett Moorhead. Get excited, man. Go lead this team.
Hand out to Alex Broom, and he's got room. And he's out to the midfield stripe. The true freshman from Nashville, Tennessee, rips off a 22-yard run, and that should help settle in the offense.
How excited was Jeff Hafley about Alex Broom when we talked to him yesterday? He's got a little bit of a hamstring issue, but that hammy looked pretty good right there. See, there you go. There's some fire, some emotion that this team needs very desperately.
They're going to ride Garwo and Broom primarily tonight. Their number 3 running back, Xavier Coleman, is out with an ankle injury. There's Zay Flowers, number 4, the weapon for BC. And they'll dump it off short to Broom, and he'll get 5, maybe 6 on that catch. Shaka Hayward got him down to the turf.
I like that play call there, because the other thing Zay Flowers is he gets so much attention, he's almost a decoy. And that play he was. A lot of white jerseys went that way, and they were able to bring the screen back to the other side with Broom.
Are you a little surprised we haven't seen a touch for Zay Flowers yet? I mean, last week at UConn only had 2 catches, and the offensive coordinator, John McNulty, stressed getting him involved early this week.
Absolutely. He's got to be coming here soon. I think he needs at least 15 touches in this game.
Moorhead has some time. He's going to go deep, showing off that arm talent. Has a receiver. It is caught, but incomplete. Joe Griffin out of bounds, and he was covered in the secondary by Datron Young.
It was a pretty ball, and he's showing off that arm talent that God gave him. Just, oh, he's able to get a left foot down there. They may need to take a look at that again. There we go.
I think you're onto something here, Rocky. I do believe that that left foot was in bounds when Joe Griffin, the true freshman out of Springfield, Mass, hauled that in.
It was a great job of just coordination. Usually it's that outside foot you see him try to tap. He was able to tap that inside left foot down. And this is a huge play in this game, just from a confidence standpoint for both your quarterback and your offense. And from that angle right there, it looked like he had control of the ball as the foot comes down. And that ball is on the money.
Well, the call on the field was incomplete. It's got to be indisputable video evidence to overturn it. Our replay official is Michael Webster, and based on what we're seeing here, I think that there's enough to overturn this.
I absolutely do. I think this is going to be a catch.
Joe Griffin, true freshman slot receiver, getting deep down the field. That's going to be a 36-yard play if it is indeed reversed.
And he secured the catch through the fall to the ground. Joe Griffin, the freshman. A lot of freshmen starting on this team.
After further review, determined that there was a catch on the play. He's first and goal at the 9-yard line, right hash.
Well done by the replay crew.
Absolutely. Made the right call. They did it quick. And how big is that for Boston College?
How big is that for Moorhead? What does that do for his confidence?
He needed it, right? As Don reported and talked to us about, he just looks a kind of little gun-shy out there. And nothing gets you back in the flow of the game than having a positive play, especially a big one like that. So now it's up to him to see if he can continue that. Yeah, go ahead, Don.
I was just going to say he was very nervous before that first possession. He was frustrated right after their first possession. This was huge for him.
He's going to step under center here on first down and goal. Handoff, Alex Broom. He'll probe the middle. Maybe a yard. Darius Joyner forcing him back. Boston College in the red zone. This is only their 22nd trip into the red zone this year, second fewest in the ACC.
And we talked about their offensive line, about the 9th different O-line combination they've had this year. Injuries have hit them so hard and really just crushed this run game that traditionally has been so good.
Moorhead has time. That O-line doing a good job getting a throw to Flowers, but it's incomplete. Double coverage. Still Flowers got a hand on it. Stinson and Young were bracketing him in the end zone.
And that's a good idea if you're Duke. Put 2 guys on Flowers because you know that's the guy Moorhead's going to go to. And even with that said, there's a little bit of a room, but I really like the way the recovery by Datron Young, the cornerback.
That's a big play for Boston College. They haven't scored a touchdown in almost 6 quarters. Third down pass to the end zone. Moorhead incomplete. There is a penalty marker down. Now Tony Davis, the corner for Duke, may be called for the PI as the throw is intended for the freshman Griffin again.
Pass interference. Defense, number 13. Ball will be spotted at the 2-yard line. First and goal.
Big break for Boston College.
And Davis, I thought, did a good job of trying to get his head turned around. But look at his left arm was just creating a lot of contact as that ball was in the air. You see right there, pushing the receiver's chest. I think that's what drew the flag.
Well, this Duke defense playing so well as of late, of course, coming off that big game at Miami 2 weeks ago where they forced 8 turnovers, a program record. But now BC knocking on the door from the 2. Flowers hopping around in motion. He gets the pass, touchdown. Zay Flowers. Boy, he was wide open. From 2 yards away, his 7th touchdown reception of the year, and BC is on the board.
It's just the athleticism of Flowers makes that possible. He goes in motion, then comes back the other way, then shifts back to the left. Watch all this unfold here. And then he just puts his foot in the ground, turns the jets on, and the guy who's supposed to be covering him, he gets caught up in the trash. A great play design, a way to get your best player of the football.
So with some help from Duke penalties, Boston College able to tie this game up. 6 plays, 72 yards. Touchdown, Zay Flowers tied at 7.
ESPN College Football Primetime is presented by Ram Trucks, built to serve, and in part by Lincoln Financial. Plan, protect, retire.
Leading receiver in the ACC is Zay Flowers. His first catch tonight results in a touchdown. I mean, for Boston College to be the best version of themselves tonight, Flowers had to be involved, and so far, so good.
Absolutely. Last week against UConn, he only had 2 catches for 35 yards, had a bad drop, but it's good to see him get involved early.
Let's take a look at tonight's player spotlight, brought to us by Tide. And Zay Flowers, 2-time All-Conference, 4th in school history in catches, 2nd in school history in yards, and he is the number 9 wide receiver prospect on Mel Kiper's big board.
And Jeff Hafley said even despite how the season's gone, it was good for Zay Flowers to come back. He really had to work on his ability at the contested catches aspect of being a receiver. He's done great at that. He's going to go to the NFL Combine. He's going to test really well, so he could find himself in that first, second round.
Riley Leonard and Duke starting from the 25. And it'll be Leonard, his second run. And again, designed. He'll pick up 2 this time. He had a 60-yard touchdown run on the opening series for Duke. They went 3 and out on their last possession.
Such a dangerous runner.
You know, the game has really slowed down for him. You ask him that, he'll tell you that. Again, this is just his first year as the starter. And really since the start of fall camp, he's feeling his most comfortable. Wide open man. That's Jordan Moore, former quarterback. He's across the midfield line into BC territory where he is hogtied at the 46-yard line by Josh DeBerry. But another big play for Duke. That's a gain of 27.
And what an exceptional throw. Comes off the motion. And Riley Leonard just rolling to the outside, a dime on the run, hits Jordan Moore, the former quarterback, and he does what he's done all year, and that's make a bunch of guys miss.
He was in a quarterback battle with Leonard right up until 2 weeks before the season opener. They gave the job to Leonard. Moore moved to wide receiver, and he's been happy about that, showing no bitterness. In fact, he and Leonard are great friends. As Leonard misses that pass, it'll be second down.
Yeah, just to go back to that, Jordan Moore really embraced becoming that wide receiver now.
Yeah, you talk about those guys being good friends. They're so close. Riley said from the get-go they just click because they have similar personalities. Both ultra-competitive guys on the field. They like to compete, and Riley told me that actually helped them to grow even closer, brought their relationship to another level. They do get to utilize that chemistry now. Jordan is a wideout. Guys go fishing together, by the way. That's what they do for fun.
I love it.
Jacquez Moore in the backfield. He'll get it. This is one of the several guys they have named Moore on this offense. Jacquez Moore, Terry Moore in the backfield. Jordan Moore, we just saw him catch a pass. Of course, they all have different skill sets, not related. All impactful in their own way. So now 3rd down and 5 after that point.
Boy, and they got one of the best running back coaches in America, Trooper Taylor. Known as a great recruiter, but also a great coach. Really has that running back room leading this team.
Duke trying to convert on 3rd down for the first time tonight.
Showing a lot of pressure here.
BC rush 5 and running right by it is Jacquez Moore. 1st down and more inside the 30. Down at the 27-yard line. Moore rips one off for 14. Cole Baston finally able to bring him to the turf.
And this is just an exceptional job blocking. Watch the left tackle, Graham Barton, come up and pop Bryce Steele, the linebacker, and that opens up a huge lane for an easy 1st down.
Jacquez Moore leading the ACC at 7.3 yards per rush. He gets 14 on that carry. 1st down and 10. Jordan Waters back on the field to the right of Leonard. And it will be Waters. Not much operating room, and in fact a loss of a yard. Our next UFC Fight Night tomorrow from the Apex in Las Vegas. A women's strawweight main event is on the card. Prelims start at 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific, followed by the main card at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on ESPN+. Go to ESPNplus.com or download the ESPN app.
That's what you fight at, right? Strawweight?
I'm strawweight,
yeah.
Especially after I lost all that weight.
That's right.
Feeling pretty good, feeling nimble.
Yeah, fighting shape.
2nd and 11. Waters going behind the left side of that Duke offensive line. And that's going to make it 3rd down and much more manageable. Yeah, all in all, this Duke offensive line, certainly they haven't had the problems that Boston College has had with keeping guys healthy. They've only allowed 12 sacks this year, 2nd fewest in the ACC. And what they've done for that run game has been really impressive.
Well, and especially considering you have that stable of 4 or 5 running backs that can really just do damage if you get that offensive line that has a lot of experience. They've played together for a long time. They know where the other guy's supposed to be. It's really worked out well.
Leonard 3 for 7 passing so far for 40 yards. Looking to throw here over the middle, sails it high, incomplete. I think he was trying to hit Calhoun, but the pressure got to him and may have kept that pass from being online.
It's a great job. They bring Vinny DePalma off the left side, and then Donovan Ezeraku, number 6, a great swim move and gets inside and just affects that throw Izaraku, one of the Eagles' best defensive linemen, coming in and disrupting that throw along with some pressure up the middle as well.
So since Boston College gave up that long touchdown run to Leonard, they've really settled in.
They really have. You know, and that's kind of, last week was kind of the same thing, right? They just let UConn march down the field on the opening drive and then settled in and played well. So far doing that tonight.
Here's Todd Polino, starting place kicker for the second straight game, as Charlie Ham has been out. And he hits from 39. So Duke is able to salvage the drive. They get 3 points with 4:07 to go here in the opening quarter. Well, this season, All-State celebrates every field goal and extra point made by participating universities by making a donation to the university's General Scholarship Fund. We say thank you to All-State. How beautiful is the Boston College campus, especially in the fall with the colors. I mean, it's just, it was great to walk around here today.
No, it really was. You do not get a day like this in November in Boston, so you got to take advantage. And even Mike Elko, who is all ball, he was talking about how nice the weather was here tonight.
First head coaching job for Elko, 55 years old. Grew up 4.5 hours south of here in South Brunswick, New Jersey. Of course, was the defensive coordinator at Texas A&M the last 4 years.
He talked about yesterday about all the things he learned from the head coaches he's been under that have all been different, right? Jimbo Fisher is very different from Brian Kelly, who's very different from Dave Clawson, but he's taken a lot from all three of those guys and become a fantastic head coach in year one.
Jalen Gill, a burst of speed as he crosses the 25, gets close to the 30. A penalty flag reins in behind him. Jalen Gill, the senior out of Westerville, Ohio. And there's a man down for Duke.
During the return, personal foul, legal blindside block. Return team, number 13, half the distance to the goal. First down, return team.
Well, the man down for Duke is Isaiah Fisher-Smith, junior safety out of Greensboro, North Carolina. Looks like he's going to be all right. Getting to the sideline under his own power. So we talked about the BC offensive line. Yet to have the same starting five in back-to-back weeks. All ACC guard Christian Mahogany tore his ACL in the spring, and they've been hemorrhaging offensive linemen ever since.
They have. I mean, look, 2 converted defensive linemen. That's how bad it's been. And here's the deal. They didn't just lose linemen. They lost, like, NFL-caliber linemen. Christian Mahogany is going to play in the NFL. Finn Dernstein, a great offensive lineman. So just kind of the identity of this team was just zapped from them right out of the gate.
It's a running play. Pat Garwo straight ahead. He'll get 3. And what a difference it was from the spring when they had plenty of healthy bodies on the offensive line. Certainly a big difference from last year.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they lose 4 guys to the NFL, which makes it hard enough. And then the guys you're bringing back, you still feel pretty good about. And then the injuries happen. I mean, 5 offensive lineman surgeries, 4 since the start of the season.
Second down at 7. He'll stay on the ground with Garwo. He'll cut it up, and he's toppled as he crosses the 15-yard line. Tripped up at the 16 by Cam Dillon. It'll be 3rd down.
Clay and Rocky, you know, with all these O-line injuries, we got to point out you've got young guys up front. Well, these are the guys that Emmett has played with, that he came in with, because they're all the same age. So you can kind of see the chemistry that they have together. And he was chatting with them over, as he sacked, but he was chatting with them over here on the sideline. And I'm going to tell you this. I know this possession did not go well for Boston College, but I'm telling you that the switch has been flipped on Emmett Moorhead on the sideline, guys, because beginning of the game, he was closing his eyes, taking deep breaths. He was clearly nervous. He looks like a completely different quarterback on that sideline right now. So we'll see how that plays out. Didn't work this possession. We'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, well, he got the big confidence from the deep throw that was overturned on the last drive. But then, I mean, that's something that can zap some confidence back out of you real quick. And just been the issue with Boston College all year. I mean, Phil Jerkirk knows all about it.
Well, Dwayne Carter got the sack to get Duke's defense off the field. There's Danny Longman to punt it Jalen Calhoun calling for the fair catch right at the logo at the center of the field. 39-yard punt. Well, this week's featured ESPN college football game has Bryce Young at number 6 Alabama against Jaden Daniels at number 10 LSU. A huge SEC West matchup. Coverage begins tomorrow night, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on ESPN and the app. Just part of a great Week 10 in college football, and this is going to be an outstanding quarterback matchup, right?
You gotta love the way LSU has turned their season around. They throttled Ole Miss last week, but here's the deal for Bama. Their defense is good, but they've really struggled on the road. They give up 32 points per game on the road, and that game at LSU with that crowd, could be something.
Alabama controls its own destiny to get to the college football playoff, even though they weren't in that top 4 with the first rankings coming out this past week. Here's our first touch for Terry Moore tonight, the true freshman in that Duke backfield of Washington, North Carolina. They originally wanted to redshirt him, but they've needed him because of a lack of depth. And now as we say that, he's hobbled and limping toward the Duke sideline.
Yeah, he had a great game against North Carolina. Fast kid, explosive, still learning this offense. But I guess that is the luxury of this team, is how deep they are at the running back position.
2nd down and 6. Leonard wants to throw over the middle, right down the seam to Jalen Calhoun. Top 10 in the ACC in catches coming into this ball game, closing in on 2,000 career receiving yards. Jalen Calhoun, veteran target that Leonard seeks out, and a lot of times when he makes the catch, they move the chains.
There's no question about it, but I can see early on how worried Boston College is about Robbie Leonard escaping up the middle, because that's a few times tonight they've brought a linebacker right up the gut. They want to take away that vertical rush lane, but it's opened up a big hole in the middle for them to complete a pass.
He looked for Waters in the flat. Now he's going to run. And like you said, he's a good decision maker. Didn't like what he saw in the flat on the throw to Waters, and he's his own escape outlet.
And here's the deal, he's decisive, right? If he's going to tuck it, he tucks it and goes. It's not kind of, I don't know, what should I do here? If he's going to throw it, he lets it rip. If he's going to tuck it, he tucks it and runs. And that's what you have to be as a quarterback. Be confident, be decisive in your decision.
Team's leading rusher averages over 6 yards per carry. He got 4 on that one. 2nd down and 6. Waters again in the backfield, and he'll get it. Cuts it back up, still on his feet and close to the 30-yard line. It's going to be 3rd down and short now for Duke. After that 5-yard gain for Waters and a Fairmont, North Carolina, Acapella, the defensive end, made the hit. And that very well could be the final play of quarter number 1. I don't know. Duke, obviously, on that opening series with the long touchdown run by Leonard, came here and made a statement today. But I think BC is pretty happy with the way this is playing out. They finally settled Moorhead in.
Absolutely. You like to feel, if you're Boston College, where you are in this game. Only 10-7. A lot of football here to play.
You're watching ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by Ram Trucks, back here in Boston, 10-7. Duke on top of BC. Something to keep an eye on here tonight. Turnovers. We haven't seen a turnover yet, but Duke plus 14 in turnover margin, 2nd best in the country. BC -8, near the bottom in the nation.
And turnover margin in correlation to wins is something that lines up every single year. You turn the ball over, you're not going to win. If you get some, give you a better chance. Duke last year was dead last in turnover margin, and they flipped it around.
Jaquez Moore got a little push, I believe, from Riley Leonard to get enough for the 1st down.
It was kind of bottled up there, but headsy play by Leonard. The Bush push is legal now in college football, right? It might have been enough.
Jaquez Moore averages about 6 or 7 carries per game, but may get more work here tonight because Terry Moore, who we saw earlier, went to the injury tent, so he may be unavailable for the foreseeable future. Moore. Ball came out, and Duke is able to recover it at the 21-yard line. We were just talking about how Duke has protected the football this year. Graham Barton, the left tackle, able to get on that one for Duke.
It looked like Vinny DePalma, 42, was able to pry this ball out before he goes to the ground. It's hard to see if his knee was down. It might have been. Yeah, we were just talking about it, partner, and the ball goes on the turf.
Well, last year, Duke was -7 in turnovers. Last in the ACC, plus 14 this year. I mean, what a turnaround. And you know, a lot of credit has to go to Mike Elko for that.
Absolutely.
So they're going to look at this again. So we're on second replay of the night. Again, Michael Webster, our replay official.
I think you're looking to see if his knee was down. DePalma prized the ball loose. It looked like the right knee hit before that ball popped out.
So if that's the case, if he is down, and I think he is. Yeah, I think he is. That's going to be the difference of about 5 yards. They're going to bring it back probably on
25,
the 25 or 26 yard line. Well, Duke, no doubt, they have been smart with the football. They've won the turnover battle in 7 of their 8 games. Only 6 turnovers all year. They get very close to coughing it up here with Jaquez Moore. Now, was he down before that ball came out?
I think so. But you mentioned the takeaway. He's got, what, 8 versus Miami a week and a half ago? It was incredible.
Yeah, that'll pad the turnover margin.
You determined that the ball carrier's knee was down at the 24.5-yard line. Second down.
Okay, so it's going to be the difference of about 3.5 yards. And it's going to come back the other way.
And I feel like Riley Leonard is doing a really good job of counting the numbers in the box. When they have advantageous numbers, okay, they have even or one more than Boston College does, he's running that ball. When they don't, he's finding a way to get an outlet, a quick pass to the outside.
We haven't seen a lot of Dickie Dalmolin yet, the tight end, as he shifts to the left side of the formation. Here's Leonard keeping it himself. There he goes again. First down and more. Riley Leonard. Man, he is slippery. Cole Baston makes the tackle, but it's another first down for the quarterback, a gain of 12.
For Boston College, it's the matchup you want. You got your athletic defensive end, Donovan Eziraku, plays it well. It's just Riley Leonard is a great athlete. Breaks an arm tackle and pops it forward for a first down. Wow.
Yeah, Eziraku leads him in tackles for loss. Nearly had him wrapped up there, but Leonard stepped right out of it. 78 yards rushing and a touchdown already for the quarterback, and he'll keep it again. Looking for room on the right side. Tried to turn the corner, and that time Eziraku was ready and stood his ground.
Eziraku gets his revenge on the next play, screaming down the line.
It'll be second down. The offensive line for Duke, we've talked about it. Graham Barton, the left tackle. Chance Lytle, transfer. Jack Burns, Jacob Monk. He has been around a long time. This is his 44th career game for Monk, the senior, and then Andre Harris on the outside as well from Oklahoma City. A veteran, smart group, as you expect for Duke students, right?
Yeah, and there's a lot of nonverbal communication that goes on when you have a line with that experience.
Leonard clean in the pocket, hits Calhoun, and he's going to be stacked up short of the 5-yard line. Jaden Woodby making that stop. So here we go with a third down.
Now, if you're Boston College right now, you have got to watch the quarterback run by Riley Leonard. He did it 3 times against Miami. He's done it the whole season. Either a designed run or if it's a pass, he likes to escape through those middle gaps here, those A gaps. He's got to have either a spy or a twist game, something to eliminate that escape lane for Riley Leonard.
Third down and 5. 10th play of the drive coming up here. They can pick up a first down at about the 1, maybe the 2-yard line. And we're going to get a timeout. Duke calling a timeout. The offensive coordinator Kevin Johns is going to ponder his next move here on third down. Mike Elko and the Blue Devils on the road with a 3-point lead with 11:21 to go in the half.
The College Football Playoff National Championship, Monday, January 9th on ESPN.
Back here in Beantown, 3rd down, 5 to go. Ball at the 7 for Duke. Would Mike Elko consider going on 4 downs here?
I think he would. He's an analytics-driven guy here, so he looks at 3rd down and how many yards do I got to get to make a manageable 4th? If he gets that number, he'll do it.
Riley Leonard, a little bit of a low snap. Hands it off to Waters, all kinds of room, and he walks in for the touchdown. 7 yards to the end zone for number 7. Second touchdown drive for the Blue Devils.
Riley Leonard, recognizing where the pressure is coming from, has been exceptional. BC is going to bring Cole Batson up the middle, and Riley Leonard just hands the ball off, checks the run to the right side, away from the pressure. I've seen him do it about 3 times a night. Just pressure's coming off this side, check the run to the other side, and it's easy pickings.
Freshman Todd Polino has done a nice job as a backup to Charlie Ham. Kicks another one through. And Duke with a 10-play, 51-yard drive in just under 6 minutes. Scores on a touchdown run for Jordan Waters here in Chestnut Hill. ESPN College Football Primetime back here in Boston. 17-7 Duke. Clay Matvick, Rocky Boyman, Don Davenport. Let's look at the All-State College Football Playoff rankings. The first reveal last Tuesday night. Tennessee #1, Ohio State 2, Georgia 3, Clemson 4. Those teams would be in the playoff as of right now.
I got a few issues with it, Clay. I got a few issues with the first rankings, okay?
Okay.
Clemson at number 4. Committee, are we living in the past? Right now, Clemson's best wins, Wake Forest and Syracuse, who last time I checked got throttled last week, right? Wake Forest lost to Louisville. Yep. I feel like Michigan should be in that number 4 spot, and no love for TCU either.
Well, the committee said that Clemson passed the test when it comes to strength of schedule. And that was their defense. That's why they had Clemson ahead of Michigan. And as we have another penalty flag down. All right, Rocky, let's go to your top 4.
Yeah, I think I got Michigan there. And Michigan, they routed Penn State, who gave Ohio State a run for their money a couple weeks ago. TCU, I think you got to have them in 8-0. They got 3 top 25 wins. You got a quarterback in Max Duggan, who's in the Heisman race. So for me, you know, that kind of rounds out my top 6.
You don't have Clemson.
I got them at 7.
6.
I got them at 7.
So, you know, that's the best chance for the ACC to get in the playoff. Clemson, obviously.
Well, I guess we'll find out a little bit more as they play Notre Dame this week. But as much as I hate to say it, I don't have a ton of faith in Notre Dame right now.
After that kickoff, a holding call backing BC inside their own 10-yard line. That is going to be another penalty as the flag came out.
Holding, number 80.
Again, it's against
offense.
Boston College.
After distance to the goal. Repeat first down.
So starting to pile up. That was on George Takis, the tight end.
Yeah, it's good to have Takis back in the lineup, but not when he's committing penalties.
Tennessee, they're going to have a really big test at Georgia this week. Battle of the unbeatens on Saturday. Winner likely headed to the SEC title game. You know, we're going to know more. We already know a lot about Hendon Hooker in Tennessee, but we're going to know even more after that test against the Bulldogs.
No doubt. I mean, big wins at LSU against Bama. 38-point win over UK. 5 wins over AP top 25 teams. I think they're undoubtedly the #1 team in the nation.
And for Garwo as he gets across the 5 down to the 7 or 8 yard line. All right, Don Davenport, you've got a say in this too.
I would just like to point out that when we did this last Saturday, before they came out, I did have Tennessee #1. And listen, I know my audience, boys. I've got Clemson, the ACC team, in that 4 spot. Can I point out, Rocky, didn't you have them in the 4 spot last week? What changed for you?
Well, I went back and I watched every game over the weekend, Don, and I reassessed my rankings, and I looked at the stats and the empirical data, and I changed, yes.
Okay, I got you. Well, I'm going to go with the committee when they talk about the 3 wins against teams that were in the top 25.
Hey, they're calling this a touchdown, Don. Hate to interrupt you, but it looks like Dwayne Carter scooped that up and scored. Now they're going to take a look at this undoubtedly, but Dwayne Carter. as of right now, scoring a touchdown for Duke. Was this a backward pass?
Let's check it out here. Throwing from the 2-yard line here, so let's see where this pass lands. A 3. That's a forward pass.
You know, but that's the smart thing for Carter to play like it's live.
Yep.
You know, complete the play, because never know.
The previous play has been reviewed. Incomplete forward pass. 3rd down.
33rd down. You know, it seemed like this offense for Boston College was on the verge of getting some momentum and getting Moorhead comfortable, but some penalties, some bad field position here at the start of this series, and now they're backed up in a long 3rd down.
Yeah, the field position you mentioned is critical. Backed up inside their own 10-yard line here. Just not a good position to get your quarterback comfortable.
Alex Broom in the backfield with Moorhead on 3rd down and 10. They need the 20-yard line to keep the drive alive off his back foot. Moorhead will check it down to Broom, and he'll get about 6, but nowhere near enough. And BC is going to have to punt. So we're going to continue this conversation. We're going to get back to Don here in a moment. There's Carter going off the field for Duke. He's been very active tonight for the Blue Devils defense.
He really is. You know, he's that man in the middle. Any good defense has, they call it a good spine, right? Got to be good up the middle. Good defensive lineman. They got Shaka Hayward, a great linebacker, and then Brandon Johnson as a safety. They're tough up the middle for Duke.
Wobbly kick for Longman, and a fair catch for Jalen Calhoun. And at about 50-yard line. Let's go to Don's rankings and see how they differ from Rocky's rankings. All right, Don, take it away.
Yeah, see, I've got the ACC's back in this with Clemson at 4. No, as I was saying before, I just think the 3 wins against teams that were in the top 25, that's big. I know they don't have a whole lot of meat left on their schedule, so that's going to have to stand, and that strength of schedule might end up hurting Clemson in the long run. I get it, but I've got Michigan right there after Clemson, so I'm with you on that, Rocky. And I just think Tennessee, I mean, they are absolutely dominating. It's not just what they're doing offensively, guys, it's defense too.
I agree. Tennessee averaging 13 points in the first quarter of games. They're jumping on top of people early.
First down reception for Shamir Higgins. Redshirt freshman gets 6 and into plus territory. The one question I have about Clemson as we look forward to that game against Notre Dame, who's going to come out and be the starter at quarterback? DJ Uiagalelei or Kate Klubnik, who was the guy who really saved Clemson in that game against Syracuse.
Yeah, that's, you know, you hate to have a question at that position in November as you're trying to make a run for the college football playoff, but that'll sure play out here this weekend.
Second down and 4 for Duke from the 45 of Boston College. Waters maybe a yard. Marcus Valdez, the defensive end, making the stop. He was a game-time decision. Good to see him out there playing. Marcus Valdez out of Perth Amboy, New Jersey. Clemson quarterback comparison. There's Uiagalelei and Klubnik. They really are high on Klubnik.
They really are. I mean, he was a top-rated quarterback in the nation coming out. Really excited about him. And for Uiagalelei, the turnovers have really been his detriment. He certainly looks the part, but got to play better if he wants to secure that job.
Tigers 8-0 and ranked number 4 in the first college football playoff rankings. Going the wrong way as Leonard throws it short. And that was knocked down, nearly intercepted. Josh DeBerry, the nickelback, almost picked that off. And so now 4th down.
Yeah, Josh DeBerry is a great player for Boston College defense. He's a senior, been making plays around here a long time. Aggressive on that back end.
He was really good in the red bandana game against Clemson, speaking of the Tigers. And so now Boston College will get it back. 4th down and 3. He's got to be wary at midfield for a fake. Porter Wilson has some speed too. And he's going to try and drop this one inside the 10-yard line. And nice job getting down there by Robertson to field it at the 4-yard line. 39-yard punt. We love this cartoon. Rocky Boyman in boxing shorts.
My screensaver for my computer for now to the end of time.
17-7 Duke, 7:37 to go in the half. Boston College leads the all-time series 5-3. This is the first meeting since 2020, a Boston College win. That was Jeff Hafley's first win at Boston College. He doesn't have a starting quarterback tonight. Phil Jurkovec is out with a knee injury. And you know, one of the many injuries that the Eagles have had this year. That's why the offensive production has been so poor.
And you got to feel for Phil Jurkovec. I mean, he's not finished a season of college football. I mean, last year it was the wrist injury. Years past has been one thing or another. Now he's got lower body thing going on. You just feel for the guy. He comes back here, the stage is set. He's going to have this great year and go in the draft, and the offensive line gets hurt.
5-yard run for Alex Broom. I mean, the field position in this game, too, Rocky, has been miserable for the Eagles. They have started at the 11, at their own 10, and this drive starts at their own 5.
And this is just the little things that go into the success of Duke this year, right? Just these little things, field position, winning those battles, getting stops. That's why they've won 5 games.
Cam Dillon bringing Broom to the turf. It's a 2-yard gain, so now 3rd down and about 3 for BC. And look at all the walking wounded over on that BC sideline.
That's a lot of big boys, right? A lot of guys you'd love to have in the game right now. And it's just, I mean, Coach Hafley said, I've never seen anything like it. You know, it's not like they're hamstring pulled. I mean, they're season-ending injuries, ACLs, you know, shoulders.
BC hasn't converted on 3rd down yet, and they won't here. Well, Flowers zigged. Moorhead thought he was going to zag. That fails to click, and it's 4th down.
I think that's just a timing thing. You know, just that takes reps of making sure your wide receiver and quarterback are on the same position. And Emmett Moorhead doesn't get as many reps coming into this game as Phil Jurkovec does. And, you know, it's just in a game of precision, things like that really set you back.
You can see Flowers kind of looking back at his quarterback going, I think we were on the wrong page, there. Sam Candati has been kind of their designated pooch punter, but he's going to rugby style it from out of the end zone. End over end kick, fair catch called for at the 48-yard line of Duke by Jalen Calhoun. Our Week 9 Monday Night Football matchup has Lamar Jackson and the Ravens in New Orleans to take on Alvin Kamara and the Saints. 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ESPN. The Manning cast is on ESPN 2. Coverage begins with Monday Night Countdown at 6. Linebacker Roquan Smith making news this week. That big trade, Chicago to Baltimore. The NFL's leading tackler will make his Ravens debut on Monday Night Football.
And that trade tells me one thing. The Ravens really like their roster, and they think they're one piece away from going on a run deep into the playoffs. Their defense hasn't played really well. You get one of the best linebackers in the game on, that could change that tide real quick.
Duke winning the field position battle. They're back into plush territory. Right on the screws to Hagans from Riley Leonard. That's a gain of 16.
What a just precise rhythm bang-bang play. The fake the run, back foot hits the ground, thrown right in the perfect spot in between 2 maroon jerseys. Riley Leonard getting it done.
Another guy they wanted to get involved here tonight, Hagans. He had only 2 catches the last 3 games. Of course, one went for a touchdown against North Carolina. But Hagans is fast. Maybe their fastest player.
Yeah, they could use some more dynamic play out of that wide receiving core, but they've done a pretty solid job.
1st down and 10. Jaquez Moore will fall ahead to about the 31-yard line. That's a gain of 4. So this offense for Duke, they're controlling time of possession. They've kind of controlled the momentum from the very moment that Leonard took off for that 60-yard touchdown run on the opening series.
Yeah, as you mentioned earlier, they've controlled field position. You know, pretty balanced attack so far as well. Checking the play here.
Leonard out to Moore. Jaquez Moore, a catch and run for a 1st down. Puts on the brakes at the 15. Eludes a tackler and steps inside the 10. That's a gain of 22 for Jaquez Moore. How about those dance steps?
And you got to give Riley Leonard a ton of credit here. Changed the position around. He recognizes man defense. and he's going to get his running back Moore. Vinny DePalma, the linebacker's covering, but he can't sort through the trash, so Moore is wide open. And then, as you mentioned, Clay, the fancy footwork. I just love the way Riley Leonard took command there, flopped the play to the opposite side. He recognized man coverage, knew the linebacker was going to get caught up in the trash for an easy completion.
First catch for Jaquez Moore tonight out of the backfield, and it's a productive one. Back inside the red zone, the Duke Blue Devils trying to get bowl eligible with a win tonight. Man open, touchdown, Samir Hagans. What a great drive for Hagans. A couple of big catches, including the one that caps the drive, an 8-yard touchdown catch.
Just a great job of Hagans sitting down in that zone there. You know, and Boston College likes to play a lot of man-to-man. Here they went zone, and those wide receivers, you mentioned, when you find a hole in that zone, you just sit down in it and wait for your quarterback to toss it to you. And 6 points here for Duke.
Todd Polino back on for the extra point. And it's 24-7. 4 plays, 51 yards in just over 2 minutes. So 4 scoring drives for the Blue Devils tonight on the road. Looking for win number 6 in the Mike Elko era, season number 1. ESPN College Football Prime Time presented by Ram Trucks. 24/7 Duke now after that drive. I got to give props to these students.
Yeah,
at Boston College. Kind of late arriving crowd here tonight, but despite the poor performance as of late, 3 straight losses, these fans are here in full throat tonight. BC ready to get it back. Need to get something going on offense, and they'll start from the 25. 4:16 to go before halftime. Hey, let's check in the studio for the first time tonight with the incomparable Matt Barry.
Guys, good evening. I'm glad you brought up the fans there because they are still full throat out there. It's going to be fun to watch. Coming up at the half, Georgia's offense. Everybody talks about the defense and Tennessee's offense. Georgia has just as good a one. We'll break that down. Plus, Jaden Daniels, LSU quarterback. He has turned it on. Could that be the difference against Alabama? Plus, you know him, you love him. You might not listen to him, but we still do it. Virtual locks. Hey, Rocky Boyman, you don't just roll the ball out in Chestnut Hill and get a ball victory.
You most certainly don't, Matt. And Duke right now is putting it on the Eagles for sure.
There's Moorhead dumping it off short to Broom. Get across the 30 to about the 33-yard line. Emmett Moorhead, first career start here tonight. Phil Jurkovec is out, has a knee injury. It's been a tough career for Jurkovec. By all measures, has NFL potential. And staying healthy has been his biggest problem the last few years.
Yeah, it really has. And it's just been kind of just snake-bitten things that have jumped up injury-wise for him. And then also on top of that, it's just his offensive line is decimated this year. Has really hurt his development.
That was a first down run for Broom. Maiusi will get the tackle. Jurkovec, he's a physical player, plays fearless, and that's what makes him good, but it also comes at a price.
It really does. And coming into the season, they thought they had a good offensive line, and they wanted to limit his contact. Maybe get him to slide a little more, but I just don't think that's who he is as a player. At some point, you are who you are, and he's going to run that ball, and it's effective, but you're going to have to deal with the injuries that are going to come along with that.
Moorhead trying to move the offense and get a score here before the end of the half. Off balance throw to the sideline. I guess that's the smart play as Brandon Johnson was up in his grill. Of course, Johnson coming out that amazing week 2 weeks ago in Miami. It's incomplete, so second down and 10.
But there you just see the offensive line. Anytime a stunt comes, they're just not as quick to pass it off and know where their help is. I mean, that's what comes. We talked about it. They got 2 guys that are converted defensive linemen, and they just don't have the reps and the experience with some of these complex looks that you're going to get out of a Duke defense.
Play action. Quick strike to Takis. Beautiful play, George Takis. Into plus territory. They're going to mark him down at the 37 of Duke, 24 yards.
It's finally good they got their big tight end Takis involved. The Notre Dame transfer shooting right up the seams, and Moorhead puts the ball right on the money for him. And he's a guy who just really opens up the playbook for this offense. You know, with that Mayer kid at Notre Dame, he said, you know what, maybe he had to go somewhere else because he's
Moorhead will climb under. Gives it to Broome. I mean, this is a really important drive for Boston College because they're going to get the football to start the second half. They might be able to double dip here and get back into this football game.
Absolutely. I think psychologically they at least need to get a field goal out of this, right? To feel good and kind of get some energy back into Emmett Moorhead, get some confidence in him. So a critical drive at this part of the game.
Moorhead already with a touchdown pass tonight. He's 7 for 13. Looking to throw here on second down. He'll dump it off. Broome can't get out of the tackle of Shaka Hayward. Over 300 tackles in his Duke career. He doesn't miss many.
He's a big man, too. We talked to him yesterday at the hotel. 6'3", 240. Looks the part. Makes tackles. That's what you got to do as a linebacker. You got to run around and you got to make tackles. You don't miss many of them.
He's the captain, kind of a quiet leader, leads by example. Third down and 3.
Zay Flowers at the bottom. We're going to run it.
Oh, nice job, Broome. That's what you call a yak run. Yes. Yards after contact, first down, timeout Boston College with 1:14 to go. Alex Broome, rookie out of Nashville, Tennessee. That's the hometown of one Don Davenport.
It is, yes. He actually coming off a state title and a Mr. Football Award winner at Lipscomb Academy in Nashville last year. So his high school coach, guys, at Lipscomb Academy is former NFL legend Trent Dilfer, who just raves about Alex. He said he's an NFL back. He can run with speed, power, sees things before they develop, and is next level in pass protection already. He said one of the smartest backs that he's ever been around. Guys, Alex scored a 30 on his ACT. His dad has been a Nashville Metro Public School head coach for decades, so he grew up around football.
Now that's one of his best runs of the night, and that pass is incomplete as Moorhead took a strike to the end zone. Of course, he wanted Flowers.
And you can tell that Duke's defense knows where Zay Flowers is, right? It's 2 or 3 times a night, especially down this area of the field. They're going to make sure they have a safety over the top and then someone underneath as well. I mean, that's hard for anybody to complete that pass. That's good defense.
Number 0 is Chandler Rivers. He was the ACC Rookie of the Week after that Miami win. 6 tackles, a couple of pass breakups. Stepping up here, Moorhead does a nice job avoiding the rush, and again has to throw it away as he runs out of time. Dwayne Carter was chasing him. And we might have a penalty against Duke.
Defense number 94, 5-yard penalty.
It is.
Second down.
R.J. Oben was offside.
That's good. It's going to help Boston College. And you can see Emmett Moorhead, good athlete, but he's not like Riley Leonard. Riley Leonard, you'd like to think, would have taken that thing off to the left side here and got some positive yards. So definitely more of a pocket passing guy.
That's the 5th penalty against the Blue Devils. Meanwhile, Boston College, they don't take a lot of penalties. Second least penalized team in the ACC. Now it's second down.
Zay Flowers, 5. Top.
Moorhead taking a shot to Flowers. There's contact and another penalty flag. Rivers. I think he's going to be called for the pass interference.
Pass interference. Number 0, defense. Ruled the ball was spotted at the 2-yard line. First and goal.
See, I don't know. It looked to me like Zay Flowers got his left hand pulling on the defensive back here. Watch this. First of all, the ball's in a bad spot. That's got to be a back shoulder throw. And you look at Rivers, his eyes are back on the ball. He's making a play. To me, Zay Flowers' left hand pulled him down. I think they got away with one there.
And this is the second time that Boston College is going to have first down and goal to go from the 2 after a pass interference in the end zone. Last time they were able to score on a Zay Flowers 2-yard touchdown catch. And Flowers will stay on the field here.
Flowers coming down the body. You got Joseph Griffin, who's got some height at 6'4" at the top of your screen.
Moorhead lofts it to the end zone. Has a man caught. Griffin. Touchdown. Joe Griffin. Big score for Boston College.
And Emmett Moore has been inconsistent tonight, but he's thrown a couple of beauties, right? He had the big deep ball toward the beginning of the game, and that was just an absolutely beautiful pass he threw up there to Joseph Griffin. He recognizes the height, puts it where the defender can't get it, right over the shoulder. That's a big-time throw, Clay.
Beautiful touch. And the extra point for Connor Litton. And BC is within 10 with 50 seconds to go. And again, Boston College will have the football to start the third quarter.
And again, a confidence builder, putting the ball on the money to Griffin. And watch Moorhead. This will get you going. Yeah. See, there's the energy and the excitement I wanted to see out of Emmett Moorhead all night.
When we talked to Jeff Hafley yesterday, he said, I'm so excited about the future at that position because of Emmett Moorhead. Nothing against Phil Dracovic, and again, we've talked about his injuries, and it's unfortunate for him. But I think Hafley was excited about an opportunity to see Moorhead in a complete games scenario. And
yeah.
I know these fans are excited to see Moorhead.
Absolutely. They know his pedigree and what he brings to this. And, yeah, I mean, just to go back about Hafley, he's also excited to see Moorhead get a full week's practice, right, where he's getting all the reps. That hasn't happened all year as being the backup. And he's not been perfect tonight, but he's made a couple big throws that, again, just kind of, as a coach and even as a fan base, make you say, hey, this future looking pretty good here.
Liam Connor to kick it deep for BC. This is Jalen Stinson. A couple of career kickoff return touchdowns, both last year. And not going to get to the 30-yard line. Dropped at the 29. That was the first of two tonight on ESPN2. Pac-12 After Dark coming up when we're done. Number 23, Oregon State at Washington. Both teams 6-2, 3-2 in the Pac-12. Roy, Andre, and Kark standing by to bring you that one when we're done here on Chestnut Hill.
In Oregon State, I can't figure them out. They hold USC to 17 points, and then they give up 42 to Utah. I don't really know, but I know Michael Penix, Washington's quarterback, is having an exceptional year, close to 3,000 yards.
So Duke has 2 timeouts remaining. Not a lot of time on the clock. Under a minute to go here before halftime. Jordan Waters in the flat. He'll be spun around at the 30-yard line and steps across to the 31. Bryce Steele will be credited with the stop. And what is Kevin Johns thinking here with the amount of timeouts and time he has on the clock?
I think if you have confidence in your quarterback, which you should if you're Kevin Johns, I think you give Riley Leonard a shot at this. 2 timeouts. It's important to get a chunk yardage play here early, though. That's going to determine the strategy of the rest of the drive.
Duke 5-3, 2-2 in the ACC. That's incomplete. Trying to make a back shoulder throw to Moore. There are 2 flags on that far sideline. And this could really help out the field position situation for the Blue Devils.
Pass interference. Defense number 2. Automatic first down at the spot of the foul.
That's Bryce Steele, the middle linebacker out there in pass coverage. He's called for the PI.
And you can see Steele shove the receiver as that ball is in the air right before it gets here. You'll see the shove right there. I mean, it's just before, but enough to draw the penalty.
Clock stops, 33 seconds to go before the half. First down and 10. Riley Leonard has time. Now running out of it, and down he goes. Sacked at the 36-yard line. Neto Akapala, the sophomore defensive end out of Loganville, Georgia.
And that was a rare mistake by Riley Leonard. They only rushed 3, so he thought he had more time. But credit the 3 rushers for Boston College for just collapsing that pocket and squeezing it down. He didn't have an escape lane and brought him to the turf, and that's going to be the end of the half.
Yeah, that just changed the whole feel of that final 30 seconds. But Mike Elko and the Blue Devils will have a 10-point lead at the break, 24-14. Now we're going to send you to the halftime report. Matt Berry and Sam Acho.
Throw in a Dan Mullen, and you've got yourself a
ESPN College Football Primetime presented by Ram Trucks on a beautiful Friday night here in New England. One half in the books, 24-14, Duke leading Boston College here in this ACC clash tonight. Duke with a win gets the bowl eligibility. Boston College trying to end a 3-game losing streak. Tonight's game track brought to us by Fisher Investments.
Yeah, and Riley Leonard has been fantastic running the ball as we talked about to open this football game up. But look, let's give a lot of credit to Emmett Morehead, Boston College's quarterback. First start, 9 of 16. He hasn't been perfect, but 2 beautiful throws, and one of them a touchdown to end that first half.
Yeah, Duke leading by 10, but some bad penalties. Those 2 pass interference penalties in the end zone really allowing Boston College to stay in the game. And the Eagles will start at the 25 as Jalen Gill takes a knee in the end zone. Let's go down to Don Davenport.
Well, Clay and Rocky, BC head coach Jeff Hafley really happy with what he saw out of his quarterback. He said Emmett Morehead led well in the huddle. He started to find his rhythm in that first half. When I asked him what he wanted or needed to see from his quarterback in the second half, he said exactly what I just saw in the first half. Really, really proud of him and happy with what he's given him. Now, on the other side, Duke head coach Mike Elko, not a happy camper with what his defense did. He said they've got to tackle better. They're not executing, and talked about them playing soft in the run game as well. So that was probably not a fun Duke locker room.
Yeah, they turned the Miami Hurricanes over 8 times their last time out on the field. That was less than 2 weeks ago. They didn't force any Boston College turnovers in the first half. It's Alex Broom on the first carry of the third quarter. The true freshman from Nashville, 7 carries for 48 yards in the first half. Also had 4 catches for 25. He was a big part of the Eagles' offense in the first third.
He really was. It sounds like Mike Elko was a little bit, mad about how his run defense played. Boston College, 54 rush yards, not a ton, but they were able to grind out some tough ones there toward the end to set them up for that second score.
See Morehead go away from center and pitch it to Broom this time. And boy, Duke doing a great job in pursuit of the ball carrier. Chandler Rivers gets there. That's going to be a loss of 1. So now 3rd down and long for BC.
That was a great job of that defense stringing that thing out. R.J. Oben, the defensive end, showing his athleticism, and then Rivers being solid in the run game as a corner.
The scoring defense for Duke. They allowed 40 points per game last year. Now just 22 points per game. A lot of credit goes to the defensive coordinator, Rob Smith. He's been a DC at Rutgers, Arkansas, and Minnesota, among other stops. In his first year with these Blue Devils. Trying to get his group off the field here on 3rd down and 9. Morehead flushed. And again, nobody home, so he's going to throw it to the sideline. We've seen that a few times here tonight. And I guess that, if you're watching your quarterback in his first career start, you'd rather see that than him throwing something lame over the middle that gets picked off.
Yeah, you don't want to see him just throw a ball up for grabs in the middle of the field, but I think you got to give a lot of credit there for, sounds like Mike Elko's speech at halftime getting on his defense work. They came out and played great, shut down a couple runs, and then just creating the pressure on Emmett Morehead, giving him nowhere to go, and just, he's not going to be in sync and have as quick a delivery with that ball that brought the pressure and forced a bad throw.
Jalen Calhoun will make the fair catch at the 37-yard line. Riley Leonard went 10 of 16 for 107 yards and a touchdown pass in the first half, but it was that 60-yard touchdown gallop on the opening series for Duke that really set the tone early for the Blue Devils.
It really did. Just kind of sucked the energy out of the place early on. I mean, I'll give BC credit. They're hanging around. It's still a 10-point football game, but in the second half, they have got to limit Riley Leonard's production on the ground. It's been fantastic all year, and he's shown it here tonight.
He's their leading passer and leading rusher tonight. It's kind of how it is most Duke games. And Leonard is in there. Jet sweep to Jordan Moore. And he is tied up at the 40-yard line and thrown back. It's a gain of 4.
And for Riley Leonard, it's the designed runs. They'll call a couple like we saw in that first big run. A little fullback lead. And then just the turns on the jets to the outside, leaving the defensive backs in the dust. And then we've just seen him, again, another designed run. And he's done a good job checking out of where the pressure's coming from Boston College, checking into a better run play away from that pressure. I think he's done a great job of that tonight.
Jordan Waters looking for something up the middle. BC's going to have Duke in a third down, a fairly long situation. You look at Duke, 3 losses this year by a combined 14 points. They have been in every game. That wasn't the case last year, the final year under Coach David Cutcliffe. Got blown out by 25 or more 7 times. This is a different Duke team, very competitive this year. Very competitive, and they just seem like they're re-engaged. That's what Mike Elko said. I got to re-plug these guys in here, and they're playing their best football. Jacquez Moore will line up to the left of Leonard. On third down and 5, Leonard looking downfield. He's dangerous. Look out. He's got the first down and more into plus territory to the 39 of Boston College. That looked like a loss for sure, and he turns it into a big play of 19 yards. It looked like he was dead to rights. I mean, it was a perfect call. They flushed him out to his right, but then they have Cam Arnold, the linebacker. Linebacker versus quarterback in open space. You like to think you'd win that matchup, but Riley Leonard just puts his right foot in the ground and gets north in a hurry. Incredible. There's 3 rushing touchdowns at Miami to beat the Hurricanes. Those were all designed quarterback runs. He is their best weapon in the run game. Now looking to pass on play action. Hits Higgins, who had a really good first half, including that touchdown catch in the second quarter. Another gash play of 17 yards. Just a confident, decisive throw again by Riley Leonard. Get the fake and then just put that ball right where your receiver, just right in his numbers, right between the 8 and 5. Higgins, a youngster, redshirt freshman out of Philadelphia. So Duke on the march. Their opening possession of the half. They scored on 4 possessions in the first half. 3 touchdowns and a field goal. First and 10 off his back foot. Crossing route, it's caught. And then Josh DeBerry closes quickly on Higgins. Higgins didn't have a chance. Good job of Riley Leonard keeping the play alive and finding somewhere to go with the ball. But this Boston College defense, despite all the injuries they've had and the challenges they've had on offense, defense has flown around and played pretty well all season. A little thin in the secondary again tonight. Cornerback C.J. Burton has missed the last 3 games, missing again tonight. Seeing to get Jordan Moore involved at some point here. Big hole. Jacquez Moore steps through it and all the way to the end zone for a touchdown. 24 yards. 3 big plays on that drive for Duke. And it's Jacquez Moore with his 3rd rushing touchdown of the year. And this is all on the offensive line. We've talked about it's a veteran group, it's an experienced group. They work well together. And this was just mauling the guys in front. Watch Chance Lido, the left guard, climb up to the 2nd level. And then you see the shoulder pads square to the line of scrimmage for Jacquez Moore. He's going downhill, north-south, and scampers to the end zone. Sophomore out of Live Oak, Florida. 31-14. Duke Blue Devils on the road, inching closer to a 6th win and bowl eligibility for the first time since 2018, their last winning season. You're watching the ACC on ESPN. BC goes 3 and out on its opening possession of the second half. What does Duke do? 6 plays, 63 yards, and 325. They had 3 explosive plays on that series, 15 yards or more. Jacquez Moore, 24-yard touchdown run to cap it. And that's a killer for BC. Yeah. Let's see if they can answer. Sounds like Mike Elko's anger at halftime worked. Force a 3 and out. They march down the field, run the ball in for a touchdown. That's how you do it. Jalen Gill stopped short of the 20. We've got a flag on this kickoff return. We've seen a few on special teams here tonight.
During the return, holding, number 27, return team, half the distance to the goal, 1st and 10.
We're talking about Duke getting bowl eligible with a win here tonight. It's looking good right now. The last time they were in a bowl game, the Independence Bowl against Temple in 2018, Daniel Jones, 423 yards and 5 touchdowns. Also ran for a touchdown as Duke scored the last 42 points in a 56-27 win. Duke went to 6 bowl games in a 7-year span, but now it's been almost 4 years without a postseason appearance.
Daniel Jones really playing well for the Giants here.
Sure is. Mike Elko and the Blue Devils trying to change that trend. They'll stop Pat Garwo after a short game. Cam Dillon making that tackle.
I think the more Duke can do that, just force those runs to go east-west. This is a BC running team that wants to just go downhill, go north-south, and you can force Garwo and company to the sideline to run laterally. It's going to give you a good advantage.
Emmett Moorhead, first career collegiate start. First start since he was a junior in high school. A prep school in Virginia. Steps up. He's not going to get out of the grasp of Dwayne Carter, who's been everywhere tonight. Nicknamed Mr. Duke. He's kind of the face of the defense, really the face of this Duke program.
And what an exceptional effort by Dwayne Carter. He rushes, he bull rushes the guard back. I mean, this is a pancake. Falls to the ground, gets up, and makes the sack. I mean, you mentioned the face of Duke. I mean, that's a play they're going to replay about 18 times tomorrow in film to say, this is how you play Blue Devil football.
That's his second sack tonight. He forced a fumble and recovered a fumble the last 2 games for Duke. Now George Takis trying to muscle his way to the 15-yard line. That's going to be a pickup of 8, well short of the line to gain. So BC will have to punt. You know, I wonder here too now, as this game wears on, Rocky, you know, Boston College is coming off a short week. Meanwhile, Duke had a bye last week. They haven't played in 12 days. They're very fresh. You know, the longer this game goes on, that really plays into Duke's favor.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, just the fact that Duke was able to rest, was able to concentrate on the game plan for an extended period of time. Now I would say for Boston College, you have an embarrassing loss against UConn. You want to get that bad taste out of your mouth. You want to come play quick, but you're right. The wear and tear as this game goes on, it might start showing its effects.
Danny Longman getting a turn to punt for BC as he and Cam Dottie have been going back and forth. That's a 32-yard punt. Really good field position again for the Blue Devils when we come back. 31-14, Mike Elko's team has the lead, but doesn't look like he's satisfied with it right now. He wants more. Well, here's tomorrow's Week 10 college football lineup on the ACC Network and the ESPN app. Drake May and number 17 North Carolina taking on Virginia at noon Eastern. Then Syracuse in Pittsburgh to take on the Panthers, and the ACC Network primetime matchup, number 21 Wake Forest and number 22 NC State. That should be good.
Yeah.
Clemson running away with the ACC Atlantic, and the Coastal is North Carolina's to lose.
How good has Drake May played, right? Yeah. I'm really excited about that Wake Forest NC State game tomorrow.
Best field position of the night for Duke as they start at the 43-yard line of Boston College. Look at her throw on the run, and that is dropped. Should have been caught by Cole Finney, the backup tight end to Del Mullen. And that ends a string of 7 straight completions for Leonard. So ACC headlines. 5 teams in the top 25, tied for the most in one conference. Drake May, we've talked about him. 29 passing touchdowns, that's the most in the country. And Clemson's 8-0, highest ranked team from the ACC, and they're at Notre Dame this weekend.
I mean, how great has Drake May been? We had him against Georgia State a 2 games into the season. He came out and played well. I mean, 29 touchdown passes as a freshman. In Clemson, as I said earlier, I don't think they're the number 4 ranked team in the country, but they are 8-0. And I think, you know, it depends on what happened. I think a lot of it depends on what happened here this weekend against Notre Dame. And
now offensive pass interference is the call against Duke. And that's going to mark it all the way back to the 42-yard line. Look at that, 7 penalties now, 60 yards against. Mike Elko's not going to like that. Here's Leonard stepping up. He's going to ping pong his way across the 45 to the 46-yard line. So it'll be second in a car ride. As Araku with the tackle.
As Araku is fighting, scratching, clawing up there, doing some dirty work. And Jalen Woodby is doing a good job as well.
So this Boston College defense, we were notified without Amari Jackson, their true freshman starting corner. He's got a lower body injury, will not return to this football game. Second and 21. Here's Leonard looking downfield, quick throw. And Eli Jones, beautiful play to knock that away. The big cover corner really having a good fifth-year season.
And it looked like he had the 7 route coming in behind that. I think that was Jordan Moore. That's where the ball should have gone. Or no, excuse me, that was Jontavius Robertson. I mean, there's 3 maroon jerseys.
Yeah, he tried to shoehorn that into Bowen Sims, and that was the wrong call.
He had Robertson on the 7 route to the sideline behind it. That was a place to go with the ball. It was a bad read by Leonard.
So now 3rd and 21. Duke 4 of 7 tonight on 3rd down. We're going to really call it a conservative run here for Jordan Waters, who get it back into plus territory. But now 4th down, and Duke will have to punt it away. As Araku another tackle. But they're going to put BC in another situation where they've got to march the length of the field. How many times have they been backed up inside their own 15-yard line? There you see Mike Elko huffing and puffing again.
Mike Elko's coaching as if he was down 20 points right now. I think he's the same thing, upset with where the decision Riley Leonard to go with that football. But you're right, partner. I mean, it's been a long field for Boston College all night. Get a touchback there.
Yeah, Porter Wilson out kicking his coverage there. 48-yard punt. BC, can they make a dent in this deficit? It's 31-14 Duke. There's Jeff Hafley, 43 years old, 3rd-year head coach at Boston College. 6 wins each of the last 2 seasons. This year has been a struggle, and he is acutely aware of his critics. But when we talked to him yesterday, Rocky, he's not making excuses. Told us, you know, we haven't coached well enough, we haven't played well enough. But he still thinks the future's bright here.
I think so. And look, I think you do got to be real with yourself and talk about the injuries at the offensive line. It's just been, I mean, unbelievable how many they've had.
There's his rookie quarterback right on the money to Zay Flowers.
Dropped it.
Oh, he dropped it. Oh, my. He had it, and that's the second week in a row he's dropped it.
Now they may say ground caused it.
So it's a catch and a fumble out of bounds, so Zay Flowers gets a big break.
And it comes from the opposite side of the field. Initially, he grabbed. Let's see if he was able to hold contact through. I guess not even going to look at it.
And now Zay Flowers with a catch over on the near side. Chandler Rivers quickly wraps him up. You know, Flowers such a sure-handed receiver, and we've seen that come into question the last couple of weeks.
We have against UConn, right? I mean, he missed one down the sideline that would have changed the tide of that game, tied it up. But there's no question how dynamic of a player he is. You know, and the more times they can get the ball in his hands, the better.
I'll go back to the ground game here on 2nd and short. Jamion Franklin, Notre Dame transfer. First time we've called his name tonight. And now it's going to be a 3rd down situation here for BC.
Duke is going to do a wholesale change, about 5 guys. I don't know if they're going to get lined up.
No penalty markers. Oh, it's overthrown by Emmett Moorhead. He had Broom, but couldn't hit him coming out of the backfield. And so now 4th down and 4, and we'll see what Jeff Hafley decides to do.
And that's one where Duke brought pressure, but Emmett Moorhead had time. He just rushed it a little bit and forced a high throw. So I think at this stage of the game, Hafley's saying, look, this is probably some of the best field position we're going to have here tonight. We're going to go for it. I think you got to find number 4, right? He's going to the top of the screen. Of course, Duke should know where he is.
Duke showing pressure. Here they come. Moorhead off his back foot, lofting it for Griffin. Battle for the ball. He got it. What a catch by Joe Griffin. Man, he has been good tonight. Went over the top of Tony Davis and reeled it in. Keep the drive going for BC.
The future is bright at BC, right? Joseph Griffin with his second amazing catch tonight. The concentration in the air, that's well covered. Can't ask for much more.
And now Moorhead wants to throw again, serving, and now just running. And that's not his best gift. They don't want him running a ton. He doesn't excel at that, but we have seen his touch here tonight. I mean, some of these throws from Moorhead have been, scraping the ozone layer, and they come right down in the bucket.
Yeah, I mean, he's had some beautiful ones. Now, again, some that have got away from him, some that have been a little high, but you know, you see the potential, right? Yeah. I mean, those are big-time throws. And that's knowledge of your wide receiver and realizing he's 6'4" and where to put the ball in the outside part of the field where only he can get it toward the sideline.
So that was a 2-yard loss on their run from Moorhead. Here's Garwo now up the middle, a big-bodied running back out of Levittown, Pennsylvania. You get 4 back for BC, but it's 3rd down again for Boston College. Down 31-14 here late in the 3rd quarter.
Garwo is battle. He comes in this game averaging just 34 rush yards per game. Again, a lot of that on just what they've had to deal with the offensive line. But he's running tough tonight, along with Alex Broom.
He was a 1,000-yard rusher last year. Has less than 300 this season. They go back to Flowers, angling toward the end zone, spinning out of a tackle. What a drive for a touchdown! Just drove his body into the end zone. Zay Flowers was not going to be denied.
And now you know why he is the most electrifying wide receiver in the ACC. They do a great job of moving him around and getting him open. Look, kind of hiding him in that stack right there. He comes underneath, and you get a slip by the linebacker, Maosi. And then, I mean, look at this, just breaking tackles, not denied to the end zone.
Second touchdown catch for Flowers tonight. His 8th of the year. They're going to look at it again. Maybe they think his knee was down before he got to the goal line. We'll see.
I guess that'd be about the only thing to figure. Can they clear everything out deep and allow him just space and opportunity underneath? And the spin out of a couple defenders. That's a touchdown to me. Or his right hip hits the ground. That ball looks to me like it breaks the plane clearly.
As important as that touchdown drive for Boston College was at the end of the first half, this has the potential to be just as important.
It is, and when you're facing a team that only has 2 wins, and you know you should come in and win this game if you're Duke, you let Boston College keep hanging around. You can't knock them out. You know, they just continue to gain energy as this game goes on. And I think number 4 is starting to feel it. That was an excellent drive by him.
Review, the ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
And now Boston College an extra point away from getting back to within 10 points. Zay Flowers, he's going to be a high draft pick in the NFL. Boston College hasn't had a wide receiver drafted since 1987, when the Cowboys took Kelvin Martin
drafted.
in the 4th round.
Amazing.
They haven't had a wide receiver drafted since '87. 35 years.
Ball start. Number 72, offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat the down.
Now this is going to make it more like a field goal attempt for Connor Litton, who's, let's be honest, he's been a little inconsistent in the place-kicking game this year for BC. Missed a 43-yard field goal last week against UConn. This is just for an extra point after the 5-yard penalty. But it's true. And BC is within 10 again. Let's take a look at our drive recap brought to us by Oral-B.
And Boston College just keep hanging around, and Zay Flowers, he got things started early. Getting him involved, lining him up different places, getting rub routes going, deep catch there. That was a great chunk yardage play. And then Joe Griffin on 4th down putting the ball in the outside part of the field, perfect spot, and then Zay Flowers just get the ball in his hands. So dynamic. 3 white jerseys around him, can't bring him to the ground, punches it in for the touchdown.
Hey, as this game wears on, it's pretty obvious that Emmett Morehead is starting to get into a rhythm. Product of Episcopal High School in Virginia. We said it before, he did not play his senior season because of COVID back in 2020, so he went a little under the radar. Ends up at Boston College, and this is his first start at the position since he was in high school. It didn't start well for him tonight, but he's coming around now.
Here it is, look at this.
And well played by the hands unit. Fair catch. That was well done by Duke to avoid something disastrous happening. And they're going to have great field position again.
Look
That's
at
Joe
this.
Hardison on the fair catch. That's just smart.
It was. That is a heads-up play. You know, because then he's not going to get hit. You can't go ahead and drill him. Now, if that ball had been popped off the turf, he wouldn't have been able to fair catch it. But Jeff Hafley rolls the dice and doesn't come up there.
Their last drive started at the 43 of BC. Great field position again right at the midfield line. Jaquez Moore in the backfield. Riley Leonard in this Duke offense, which has racked up 327 yards of offense tonight. It will be more, and nothing doing. Going to be no gain for the running back. This week's featured ESPN college football game is a dandy. How about Alabama and LSU? Always great when they get together, but this is a head-to-head top 10 in the SEC West. Coverage begins tomorrow night, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on ESPN.
And I think we'll find out a lot about Alabama. You know, they had that they just squeaked by Texas A&M, who's a 5-loss team, but they have a win over Mississippi State, Arkansas, close loss to Tennessee.
Leonard zings it out to the far sideline, long throw, and Moore made the catch, kept his feet in. And he's out at the 45-yard line. 5-yard gain. Jones was there in coverage, so another 3rd down here for the Duke Blue Devils.
I think if you're Duke, you've got to find Jordan Moore, the converted wide receiver, played quarterback. He's at the top of the screen up there. He's probably the most electrifying player at the wide receiver position. They're in a bunch formation here.
3rd down and 5. Moore will shift into the backfield. Stepping into this throw, Leonard. Is it caught? Yeah, that's going to be a catch. And it's going to be enough to move the chains. Right at the sticks, that was hauled in.
A great route concept drawn up by Kevin Johns, the offensive coordinator. In a triple set there and just spreading the field out. And look at the ball placement. Low into the outside, away from the defender. That is a big-time throw by Riley Leonard for the 1st down.
And he goes to his best receiver in the unit, Jalen Calhoun, to get it done, and he does. Calhoun in motion on the near side. Here's Riley Leonard on 1st down. Throwing it to Calhoun again. Catches it at 18-yard line. Quickly brought down to the turf, but a gain of 21.
And now it's Riley Leonard's turn to drop dimes on this defense. I mean, Calhoun just slips in between 2 maroon jerseys, and Riley Leonard just drops it in the bucket. You know, just when you start to talk about, you know, his running ability, which is dynamic, he's put together, those are 2 nice throws in a row.
Now Leonard closing in, by the way, on 100 yards rushing tonight. He's at 97. Has a touchdown run. He's going to keep it here. Looking for room along the sideline, and he gets out near the 10-yard line. DeBerry escorts him out. But just the patience of Leonard when he does run the football is impressive to watch.
It looks like a crossover, right? Don talked earlier about how great of a basketball player he was, and he's got some moves. For a guy who's 6'4", 215 pounds, he's got some juke to him.
So he's averaging over 11 yards per rush tonight. Of course, big reason for that 60-yard touchdown run 6 plays into this football game tonight. Got Duke out to the early lead. 2 for 2 in the red zone. Final minute of the 3rd quarter. Duke looking to add to the lead. Deep handoff here for Jaquez Moore. He's hit at the line and then gets through to the second level. There's another penalty flag coming up as it's getting a little chippy down there. Jaden Woodby, number 9 for Boston College, the transfer from Florida State, and Graham Barton were exchanging words. And that's going to be a first down for Duke.
Illegal hands to the face. Number 9, defense. Half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
Jaden Woodby. I didn't see the infraction there.
So we know that Boston College has had a lot of trouble running the football this season. Just 68 rushing yards per game coming into the night. Last in the country, and it's been another bad night. Meanwhile, Duke has run it well. And this is usually where Riley Leonard shows off his feet. Now he's going to share the football here. Jaquez Moore, maybe a yard for Duke. So it'll be second down and goal.
And I feel like there's some room for Riley Leonard on that zone read to keep that thing. Watch for it coming right here.
That does it. We played 3. Riley Leonard and Duke with a win tonight. Will be eligible for a bowl game. Boston College down 10. It's been a good night for Riley Leonard, the Duke quarterback. His team has never trailed in this football game. They have a chance to go up again by 3 scores. As Leonard, you see his numbers, will bring him out for a second down and 2 from the 2-yard line. They are 2 for 2 with a couple of touchdowns in the red zone.
You got to watch him keeping it here. He's been handing it off. He could pull that ball and sneak the outside. You got to watch it if you're Boston College.
2 tight ends to the far side, and there it is. Leonard giving it, and it is Moore. Stopped. No, he got in. Jaquez Moore did get in. Here's the signal. And Duke pays off another long drive.
Yeah, Jaquez Moore was just not going to be denied on that. He basically spun around and backpedaled into the end zone. Takes a shot, keeps driving the legs, and the ball crosses the plane before he hits the ground. Riley Leonard really rode that ball down in there. Handed it off the last second.
Second rushing touchdown for Jaquez Moore. 8 plays, 50 yards, 340. Yeah, the time of possession favoring Duke. Almost 27 minutes here tonight. Around 18 for BC. And the extra point from Todd Polino is good. 38-21 now, Duke on this Friday night in Chestnut Hill. Second touchdown of the night for number 20, Jaquez Moore. Duke, they have had 3 possessions here in the second half, 2 touchdown drives. Now lead it by 17 again. Early stages of the 4th quarter. And you can kind of get the feeling that this BC defense really starting to get fatigued.
Yeah, absolutely. We talked about it earlier, a short week for them where Duke had a bye week last week to rest up and get prepared for this game.
Let's go down to Don Davenport.
Yeah, DC Rob Smith told us that those guys in the middle have helped this to become such a better defense. And one of them, Jamion Franklin, what a journey for him, guys. His dad, James, diagnosed with leukemia when he was a senior in high school. Jamion went through surgery to donate stem cells to his dad to save his life. Well, now his mom, LaToya, diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer this past summer. She is currently gone through 17 radiation treatments and 15 to go. LaToya, she's watching from home tonight. We're thinking of you. We're pulling for you. Go kick cancer's butt.
Yeah, no doubt.
Absolutely.
Well, Jamion, what a great young man.
Yeah.
Selfless. As George Takis was the intended receiver there. There's Jamion. He's 6'2", 311 pounds, redshirt senior, Notre Dame transfer. So fitting in with his new surroundings at Duke. They love him here.
Yeah, he's part of that. You know, we talked earlier about the spine. You got to be good in the center of your defense, defensive line, linebacker, and safety. And along with Dwayne Carter, he's the guy in the middle.
Touchdown drive for BC on their last possession. How about Moorhead ducking away from that sack? And that is caught at the 45-yard line. What a catch. Dino Tomlin, that's Mike Tomlin's son, getting his first touch of the night. A 30-yard hookup with Moorhead.
And Jamion Franklin just missed him. Comes through. A great swim move, but Moorhead, you know, ducking down, evading the sack and throwing a beauty to Tomlin. Wow. Made some nice throws tonight.
Dino Tomlin, transfer from Maryland. Big play on his first target of the night. Down to the 46-yard line. Dwayne Carter wrapping up the ball carrier. That's Garwo. And just the touch again of Emmett Moorhead's passes. Like you said, not all of them, but several of them tonight have been like that last one to Tom.
And I just feel like his body language now versus what it was at the beginning of this game. I mean, I commented, I was like, look, he looks like, I'd like to see more energy and excitement and killer instinct out of him. I feel like you're starting to see that now, and it just shows you what having some success can breed into you.
First start of the year, Phil Jakovic is out with a knee injury this week. Played in a couple of games last year before redshirting. This is his first real competitive action as a BC Eagle, and he's on the hoof here. He'll step out at the 36-yard line of Duke, escorted out by R.J. Oben and Shaka Hayward.
Smart play there. You know, again, he's not a blazer like Riley Leonard maybe, but good athlete. Didn't force the ball downfield.
Do you think offensive coordinator John McNulty feels a little bit more comfortable doing some different things now that he sees what Moorhead has done as this game has progressed?
Yeah, look, any coach is, he's got to go off, your resume, right? What have you done? And if you've made some plays, okay, we'll give you a little bit more to do. I think you're starting to see that.
Because he did say he was going to make it pretty simple for him to start. Ooh, now this is going to be close. I don't think he's got it. I think we're going to have a fourth down situation here for BC as Cam Dillon kept Garwo from picking up the first down. So fourth down and a short one. Moorhead trying to draw Duke off. They will snap it. Naked boot. He's going to dump it off for Tomlin. That's a first down. Beautiful play design by the offensive coordinator and well executed.
I didn't love that play, but it worked, right? I mean, I think if that were Phil Dracovic, he slams that thing up inside. But look at the touch. Right over the outside hand of Shaka Hayward.
You didn't like that. I loved it.
Because it worked.
Now here's Moorhead wafting it into the end zone again, looking for Joe Griffin, and he's got it. Touchdown. Joe Griffin having a night. That is his second touchdown catch.
I don't know, folks. We may be looking at the quarterback of the future here for Boston College. I don't think there's any question about it.
His fourth touchdown pass tonight.
Confident in the pocket. He knows where he's going the whole time. And again, throwing it to the outside shoulder. I mean, that's what you do. In man covers, throw that ball to the outside part of the field where the defender can't make a play on it. And Joe Griffin, the freshman, showing great ball skills.
Back to a 10-point game as BC is getting quite a bit from their youngsters, freshman to freshman, Moorhead to Griffin, who is a Zay Flowers understudy, looking like Zay on that catch.
ESPN College Football Primetime is presented by Ram Trucks, built to serve.
Beautiful downtown Boston. Clay Matvick, Rocky Boyman, Don Davenport back here for this ACC showdown between Duke and Boston College. 12:07 to go. Boston College back in this football game, down just 10. What a night for Joe Griffin. The true freshman wideout came into the night with just 12 catches on the year. He's got 4 for 90 tonight and 2 touchdowns.
It's been fantastic. And what was that stat you threw out earlier? Boston College has one wide receiver drafted since
1987. Yeah,
I got a couple good ones here right now. Tell you what.
Now Duke has been great at responding after Boston College scored tonight. They'll have it at the 25. Well, the NFL Countdown crew has you covered for Week 9. Featuring interviews with Josh Allen of the Bills, Kirk Cousins of Minnesota. Kick off your Sunday with NFL Countdown, 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific. And the Monday Night Countdown crew gets you set for Ravens Saints starting at 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific. Both are on ESPN and the app. Jets defensive back Michael Carter, former Duke Blue Devil. Last week against the Patriots, 7 tackles, 1 tackle for loss and a pick.
Let's get here done. They got the Bills this week, right?
Yeah.
They have to do it again against Josh Allen.
Yeah, it won't be easy. Riley Leonard. He's wrapped up and dragged to the ground by Cam Horsley, the defensive tackle. Well, you got to be quick because Leonard, if he scoots through there, it could be a big play.
Yeah, I mean, that thing opens up here, and he just needs a little bit of daylight, and he shoots through it.
What Duke is going to want to do here is take some clock and get down and score another touchdown. I mean, that's what they've been doing so well here tonight. They just settled the game back down in their favor by controlling time of possession.
I mean, football is about responding, right? The other team's going to make some plays, but can you respond? The offense has done it all night tonight, but looks like they're going to have to because Boston College's offense has been putting some points on the board.
That's a good run for Jaquez Moore. What a night for him. Batson makes the tackle, but give Moore 13 more yards on the ground.
This is a run-driven team. Riley Leonard and then the stable of 4 running backs for Duke. We've seen a lot of them here tonight. They've all been productive.
Yeah, Terry Moore would be, I guess, the exception. He had the 1 carry and got hurt on the play, and we haven't seen him since. But you're right, Leonard, Jaquez Moore, Jordan Waters have all had good nights in the backfield. They all have touchdowns. In fact, Jaquez has 2. 38-28 Duke. They've never trailed in this game. Moore trying to find some room on the left side of the formation. He'll get 3. Next week, Duke is going to host Virginia Tech. It's been a tough year for the Hokies.
That's Trooper Taylor, Duke running back coach. Fantastic coach. He was at Arkansas State for a while, was with the Titans. Known as a great recruiter, but he's got this running back room really playing well.
Vocal there on that Duke sideline. It's going to be 3rd and long here after the stop on that run for Moore as we go under 10 minutes.
Here we go, 3rd down. Riley Leonard's done a great job tonight in these situations, finding Jalen Calhoun. Here it is at this bunch formation down the bottom of the screen. It's been really effective for them on 3rd down. Good route concepts coming out of it.
Stepping into it, hit, ball comes loose. Looks like Duke has recovered it. Donovan Ezeraku knocked it loose. A big defensive end, but Graham Barton, the left tackle, able to recover. It's going to be a loss of 8 and 4th down.
An exceptional speed rush by Ezeraku, running the hoop on Graham Barton. Was able to recover the fumble, but he is just screaming upfield, got low, got underneath the pads of the offensive tackle, forced the fumble.
So Porter Wilson will come out to kick this one away. Oh, this is a big opportunity here for Boston College, Rocky. Getting the football back, plenty of time on the clock, all of their timeouts. And they'll start at the 23-yard line. .30-yard punt. Boston College has it when we come back. Rookie quarterback has played well tonight. Can they bring BC back here late?
Matt Barry back in our college football studio. Coming up, Oregon State and Washington. A little Friday night Pac-12 after dark. Stay tuned. Just over 30 minutes right here on ESPN.
8:20 to go here, fourth quarter. Clay Matvick, Rocky Boyman, Don Davenport. We've enjoyed this game as it has played into the second half. We're now with 8 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. And Boston College is feeling its oats. How about this run for Pat Garwo? First down carry, that's 11 yards, and they'll move the chains.
And the story in the second half is Duke has just not been able to close the door on Boston College, right? They keep giving them opportunities. You start off the drive, first down run, and the confidence that Emmett Morehead is playing with right now is exceptional. He's made some great throws. He's got to make a couple more here late in this game.
BC has to win tonight and the remaining 3 to be bowl eligible. Pat Garwo, pretty good receiver too. Boy, look at that hit. Thrown by the running back. He's powerful, 5'8", 208 pounds. That's a gain of 8.
Clay, ball disruption is really the culture for this Duke defense. Like Jamion Franklin told me, takeaways preached every day. It's the first thing they do after warm-ups. They have 0 here tonight. This is a frustrated D.
Yeah, and they forced 8 their last time out against Miami, a program record. None tonight. How about that run for Emmett Morehead? Keep the drive going. And they're going to mark him down at the 46.
You're seeing a quarterback grow up right before our eyes, right? Comes in, not a lot of experience. We talked about both coaches yesterday. Jeff Hafley, John McNulty, talking about how nervous he was, but he has calmed down. He's settled in. He's playing great.
Little low throw there, and it's incomplete. Zay Flowers, another drop. Now, granted, it was not a great throw, but Flowers usually pretty sure-handed.
Yeah, I'd like to see Zay Flowers, a veteran, help his quarterback out there.
It's the 10th time Flowers has been targeted tonight. He's had 5 catches, a couple of touchdowns. And certainly, they've done a better job getting Flowers involved in the offense. That really was a problem at UConn. And a big reason that they lost, they didn't have enough Zay Flowers.
Yeah, couldn't. I mean, 2 catches for 35 yards. He's been better tonight, but down the stretch, number 4 is going to keep you in this game.
2nd and 10, Morehead. That's another incompletion. And Jalen Gill, the intended receiver.
I think you got to find Joe Griffin, right? He's had the 4 catches for 90 yards and 2 touchdowns. The young freshman, 6'4". Emmett Morehead seems to really have a rapport with him. There you see Griffin in the huddle. Coming down to the bottom of the screen, into the boundary.
One of the biggest plays of the night for this offense. 3rd down and 10. They need the 44 of Duke. Griffin goes in motion.
Zone coverage.
Morehead from the gun. Rolling to his right. Has Flowers streaking across the middle. Morehead's going to take a sack. Shaka Hayward. Big play. And now it's 4th down and a mile. 4th sack tonight for this Duke defense. And that was a rookie mistake.
Yep, we talked about the growth and development of Emmett Morehead, but this is a rookie mistake. You got to get rid of this ball. You imagine they're going to go for it on 4th down, and Emmett Morehead just isn't able to do it. It's well covered on the back end. They had a plan for Zay Flowers. The credit Shaka Hayward for coming up fast from that linebacker position and bringing him to the turf.
You just love Shaka Hayward. That's because he reminds you of yourself.
He might be a little better than me. I don't know. He's a good player, man. Explosive athlete.
Now Duke with 6:13 to go, closing in on a 6th win on the year.
Got Pac-12 on a Friday night. Michael Penix Jr. has had a remarkable season at the Boer offense. First year there in Seattle for the new head coach. Penix Jr. looking to sling it. Coming up just under 25 minutes right here on ESPN. Guys, back to you.
Oregon at number 8, USC at number 9. Those were the 2 highest ranked teams in the Pac-12. First college football playoff rankings when it came out. Is it going to be another year where the Pac-12 is left out?
It could be. You know, we'll see how things end up here, but
if it is, it'll be 6 straight years that the Pac-12 has been held out of the college football playoff. Now Duke trying to eat up some clock here as we go under 6 minutes. A run for Jaquez Moore. How about the rushing attack tonight for Duke. Came into the night #2 in the league and 205 rushing yards per game. They're way over that already, 230 now. Wow. 4 rushing touchdowns.
And you know, we talked about you got to worry about a stable of 4 running backs and Riley Leonard, who may be the most dynamic of all the runners out there. Just keep bringing in fresh bodies. And then you got the quarterback to worry about as well.
Leonard's got 100 yards rushing tonight and 158 passing. Jaquez Moore bouncing off players, gets to the 31. As that clock continues to churn down, Jaden Woodby will get the tackle there. And Boston College is going to spend one of their 3 remaining timeouts. And the time is really working against the Eagles here. You look at Duke, and they very easily could be 4-0 right now. You know, they had heartbreaking losses back-to-back at Georgia Tech in overtime, and then lost to North Carolina when May threw that touchdown with 16 seconds left to beat them. So a couple of 3-point losses. You look at the remaining schedule. Virginia Tech in Durham next week. It's been a tough year for the Hokies under their first-year head coach, Brent Pry. 1-4 in the ACC. So that looks to be a situation where they can maybe pick up another win. At Pitt will not be easy, and they finish with Wake Forest. But certainly looking like a good year for this team.
Absolutely. I mean, coming out again, 5 combined wins. The previous 2 seasons already have 5. They close this one out, they'll be bowl eligible and a chance to win a couple more.
Calhoun got a hand on it, I think. Lands incomplete. That's not BC thinking, all right, this isn't over yet. Ready to get the ball back with over 5 minutes on the clock and 2 timeouts.
This is a rare errant throw by Riley Leonard. He's been so great on those inside slant routes all night. That one just kind of sailed away from him, but again, here we go. Boston College still has life.
Jalen Gill, a lot of speed as a return man, waiting for this punt from Wilson. He's going to call for the fair catch around the 25-yard line. Well, it was a nerve-wracking night, especially before the game started for Emmett Morehead. First career start, but I think all in all he's handled it well.
Exceptionally well. You know, didn't start off great, but look, he hung in there. And again, as I said earlier, he's just developed confidence. You can see it in his body language as this game has gone on. The 4 touchdown passes, but maybe even more importantly, no interceptions, right? He's not turned the ball over and can ill afford to do that moving forward here. He's got to be aggressive, but not reckless with the ball.
He's going to get it out quickly to Flowers. Immediately wrapped up after the catch. Gain of 8 on first down. You know, when we talked to Jeff Hafley and offensive coordinator John McNulty, they were worried about his nerves. They said, he's really nervous. We hope he can settle in.
Yeah, and I think you could certainly see he was early, but he's settled in.
2nd and 1. Pumps, rolling out, looks downfield, and that's incomplete. Garwo had that one go through his hands. We've seen some catches that should be made the last couple of drives here for BC, just haven't materialized.
Yeah, we saw Jalen Gill miss one in the last series. Zay Flowers, now it was a low throw, but one you'd like to think they could pluck out of the ground, help your young quarterback out.
What do you like here on 3rd and 1?
I like a run here to Garwo.
9 carries tonight for Garwo, 32 yards. He's their biggest back. They're going to throw it. And it's a catch for Garwo. Runs into the umpire. He's got a first down and more to the 48-yard line. How do you like them apples?
That's an exceptional play call there. I mean, they clear out the middle of the field and a strike by Morehead to Garwo. Now they're going quick.
Little tempo now being chased. Morehead whistles that one out of play. R.J. Oben was breathing down his neck. 2nd down as the clock stops with 4:23 to go.
And a good decision, at least throwing that ball away and not taking the sack like he did on the last drive.
Emmett Morehead. Jeff Hafley said, you know, when he walks around campus, you just take one look at him and go, yep, that's the college quarterback.
That's him, yep. Looks like it, looks the part. Joe Griffin down the bottom of your screen. It's been a connection for him.
The tight end is going to get out of bounds quickly, George Takis. I don't think he's been involved as much as he would like to have been here tonight, but again, he's just coming back from injury.
Yeah, just coming back, but it's certainly good to have him. I mean, there's some weapons on this offense. Now we've seen a couple emerge tonight. Joe Griffin, Jalen Gill, along with Flowers, Takis.
Third catch for Takis tonight. On 3rd and 4, Moorhead trying to keep this drive going. That's off the hand of Garwo as he came across the back of the 2 linebackers. And now it's 4th down, and it's go time.
Just a little bit outside the reach of Garwo. Couldn't come up with it here. And I think you got to draw up a play for Zay Flowers, right? You're going in your playbook here. No, Zay Flowers is out. So that leaves now, you got Joe Griffin at the top of the screen into the boundary.
Flowers must be nicked up.
Yeah.
This is a play you'd expect him to be in on. 4th and 4.
Dude looks like he's bringing the house here.
Drew Kendall, the snapper. He's trying to communicate, gets the snap off. It's low. Moorhead is heated up and down he goes. Darius Joyner on the blitz is going to end this game essentially. 5th sack for this Duke defense.
And what a gutsy call by Rob Smith, the defensive coordinator. Pressure moment, you bring 6, you bring Darius Joyner off the side, he's unblocked. I mean, Garwo has to come up and pick up the linebacker. No one picks up Joyner, and that's one where Emmett Moorhead has got to find a way to get that ball out of his hand. He just doesn't have the experience yet.
That didn't look right from the get-go for the BC offense. The center, Drew Kendall, seemed to be confused about coverage up front, and the timing was off. It's just something wasn't right.
The whole thing, and again, that we go back to what we've discussed all game, and that is an offensive line that you have different pieces in there every week. You got the converted defensive linemen. It's just, you know, there's so much that has to happen non-verbally for the offensive line, and when you got to kind of talk those things out in a moment like that, you can't get it done.
Probably see a lot of Jaquez Moore on this series now as they run it on 1st down, as Boston College has just 1 timeout remaining. Mike Elko spent time at Notre Dame, Wake Forest, and Bowling Green. And you mentioned it before, he draws from the guys he has worked for. Dave Clawson, Brian Kelly, Jimbo Fisher, some guys who have had a lot of success in this profession. And now he's got his first head coaching job. And everything that he's always dreamed about pulling together and the vision he's got for this program, he's out to a great start, ready to get win number 6 in his first year in Durham.
I'll tell you what, you talk to people around this program, you talk to other coaches, and Mike Elko is a pro's pro. Everything is done top notch. Everything is, you know, high demand kind of situation. He expects a lot out of every one of these coaches and players. He runs a tight ship, but the results speak for themselves.
They've led from the outset here tonight. That 60-yard touchdown run on the 6th play of the night for Leonard. He'll run it here, but slips down, and he'll take a loss. And another timeout. And that's the last one for Boston College. They can't stop it anymore. Let's go down to Dawn.
Yeah, you guys talking about Coach Mike Elko. I had a chance to talk to a couple of players this week, and I asked them what he has brought to them, to this program. They talked about the winning mentality, the belief that this group has felt from that staff. And I have to tell you that I feel that belief in talking to those players this week. They think they can walk into any game and win. They talked about how they're not the same team they were last year. They're out to prove it to everybody. You feel that belief when you talk to the players, too, that they get from Coach Elko and the staff.
Yeah, I agree with you, Dawn. It just seems like this program, you know, for the previous 2 years, was just in a rut, like just in a bit of a lull, and he came in and rejuvenated this program, got them lifting, got these, you know, these players' bodies looking like how college football players should look, and really just reinstilled confidence in them, and they're certainly playing real hard for Mike Elko.
Oh, Leonard going to be buried by Ezeraku. And it's now 4th down and 11 after that loss. The only thing Boston College doesn't have going on their side here right now is they're out of timeouts because there's still plenty of time on the clock.
Ezeraku's made a ton of plays tonight. Sophomore, quick, agile, hit a sack strip earlier. And that's tough duty right there on there. You're that end that they're optioning, and he's got to be good in space, good quickness, and he shuts that play down. Mike Elko saying, man, we just can't knock these guys out. Keep coming back.
Porter Wilson will try to pin BC deep.
Bad punt.
Yeah, short. It's going to take a good Duke roll, however. And how about Gill? Try to return it. They'll get 3 yards, and BC will have it with 2:44 left. Let's go to Matt.
All right, guys, exciting finish coming up there. Rome Odunze coming up. Oregon State, Washington. Who doesn't love Pac-12 on a Friday in Seattle? Even better, one of the great atmospheres in the Pacific Coast. That coming up just under 15 minutes right here on ESPN.
Yeah, Roy Philpott, Andre Ware, Paul Carcaterra coming our way here tonight. When we're done in Boston, there's Coach Hafley. Got a public vote of confidence from new AD Blake James this week. James said Hafley's going to have a good future here. The wins will come. And that's incomplete on first down. And again, Boston College doesn't have any timeouts left. 2:41 to go.
Yeah, so they're going to have to put the ball in the air a lot here.
I think Jeff Hafley likes what he's seen from his quarterback, though.
Yeah, I think, look, as you're taking positives out of this game, that's a huge one. 4 touchdown passes, no picks so far.
There's Griffin, another catch. That's his 5th tonight. He's over 100 yards receiving now. That's a gain of 13.
Gotta go quick here, get up that line. No timeouts.
3 receivers to the right. Pressure coming from both sides. Dumped off short. Garwo, nice run after the catch. Gets it across the 40 to the 43. They've got to hurry.
That was good. Clock stops for a first down, so they're going to be able to get lined up and save some time on this clock.
Emmett Moorhead in his first career start. Over 300 yards passing and 4 touchdowns. Taking a little time there before the snap. Moorhead pumps. Cocks his arm, fires to the right, caught by Jalen Gill. Spins out of a tackle, smartly gets out of bounds to stop the clock with 2 minutes and 1 second left. Emmett Moorhead is growing up before our eyes. This is tough here for a freshman, first career start.
Yeah.
And got to run the 2-minute drill now, down 10 with no timeouts.
And I think it needs to be said, too, he's doing this against a very aggressive, complex scheme that Duke runs. I mean, this is not some vanilla scheme that he's putting out there, and he's figuring out how to do it.
That's going to be a first down. Tight end Jeremiah Franklin getting involved. He's been quiet tonight. And stopping the clock, 1:38 to go.
I mean, this is a veteran 2-minute drill he's running right here. Shooting ball the outside part of the field, converting first downs, moving the chains.
Moorhead again gets it out quickly. Garwo, middle of the field, but can't stop the clock this time. You know, with the way the line is, getting it out quickly actually helps because it's a weak O-line with all the injuries.
100%.
Second down and 4. Well, that's behind Garwo that time. Third down. 1:19 to go.
Looked like he thought Garwo was going to turn to his outside. Instead, he turned to the inside. Ball was on the opposite side of him.
Oregon State, Washington coming up as soon as we're done here on ESPN2. Week 10 of the college football season. Can't believe it's November already.
It's amazing.
It's going to be a great week. So many good games coming our way this weekend, including Clemson and Notre Dame in the ACC. Stepping up, Moorhead. Wow, he looked like Jerkovic on that run. First down for Boston College. They're fighting to the bitter end.
Fighting to the end, yeah. You know, probably don't want your quarterback back up taking shots like that, but look, he wants to do what he has to do to lead this team.
Moorhead stepping up. Still looking downfield. Now he's going to tuck it. And slides at about the 22-yard line.
Yeah, he slid before the sticks there, so that clock's going to keep ticking. I think at some point you got to throw a shot in the end zone here, don't you?
I was thinking that a couple of plays ago, quite frankly. Moorhead. That's a low throw. Was it caught? Yeah. How about that catch for Garwo? And again, in the middle of the field. Can't stop the clock. No timeouts. Stop it for the first down. This is going to be the 11th play of the drive. Moorhead, there's the shot to the end zone, and it's incomplete. Intended for Takis. So, quick question. Interesting. They're going to kick here. Wow. On third down? No, on second down. They're going to kick. So they're going to try and get this now and then go for the onside kick. That's smart.
Yeah, it is. You need 2 scores, so kick this one in.
Connor Litton for 3. Did he get it? You bet. This is interesting. We have already seen an onside kick attempt here tonight from Boston College. It didn't materialize earlier in the game. They really need this one. Well, speaking of onside kicks, let's go back. Let's flash back to 2007. Matt Ryan days at Boston College. Great football game between the Hokies and the Eagles.
It came down to an onside kick. The Eagles got it. They give Matt Ryan a chance late in the game.
And it's Andre Callender with 11 seconds left. Boston College wins it 14-10 over Virginia Tech. That was 15 years ago this past week. Of course, Virginia Tech got revenge in the ACC title game. But the Eagles won 11 games that year with Matt Ryan at quarterback.
That was an exceptional end to that game, and now Boston College is looking to do it again. Jeff Hafley. Now, can't imagine it's going to be the same, short little pooch kick that they tried last time they went for an onside. But they feel they're going to drive this ball on the ground, try to get a good bounce.
And Duke wants a timeout to think about their defense here and how they play this with the hands team. Connor Litton is the kicker, sophomore out of Christiansburg, Virginia. So a question for you, Rocky, from what we've seen from Emmett Morehead here tonight, and you've got the veteran Phil Jurkovec, who will get healthy again at some point, maybe as soon as next week when they take on Virginia Tech. What does Jeff Hafley do? Does he go back to the vet, or does he stick with the future of the position at Boston College?
I think you got to look to the future, don't you? I mean, he's come in, he's played well. I think he's given this offense, this team, a spark. I don't even don't know yet what Jurkovec's injury status is going to be, but here we go. We got an onside kick. The game comes down to this.
Well played. That's recovered. Darius Joyner.
And that's a good job. You always see, sometimes you see that receiving team on an onside kick, they sit back and wait. You're allowed to go forward. You don't have to wait for 10 yards. You can go get that ball, and just a confident play there by Joyner.
Yeah, Mike Elko finally gets to relax. A little fist pump. He knows that this is in the bag now. And he is going to be a bowl-eligible head coach in year number 1.
Potential ACC Coach of the Year, maybe, in the running.
I definitely think that his name is going to be mentioned for that award as this season continues. 38-31 the final. Duke goes to 6-3, and Boston College will fall to 2-7. Jeff Hafley and Mike Elko shaking hands. Beautiful Friday night here in Boston, and what a game for that Duke offense, especially on the ground. Riley Leonard leading the way. For Don Davenport, for Rocky Boyman, and our entire ESPN crew, I'm Clay Matvick saying so long. It's now time for Pac-12 After Dark. Oregon State and Washington. Let's